muscle aches, or cough occur, or you've had a vaccine or plan to. Before starting, get checked for infections, tuberculosis, and liver problems.
Man, folks.
A chance to say, I'm back.
Ask your dermatologist about Bimzelx.
Travel. It's gone from being an adventure.
I'm just getting it set up. Long screen.
Wonder. You just need a better way to find it. Introducing Airbnb experiences. Master ramen with an award-winning chef. Dive into underground jazz with a renowned bassist.
Mother than nature decided to throw a damn curveball.
Don't just see a place. Experience it.
Ever since we hired Dale Jr. at IHOP, breakfast has been moving fast. Look, it's pancakes! Dine-in delivery catering.
4:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 Central Standard Time. So once it gets over here,
Interesting.
Get into more of what you're into.
it's currently 3:09 where I'm at.
Texas.
Welcome back to Pocono Raceway for Prime Video's coverage of NASCAR Cup Series racing presented by Dish. Sold out crowd here at Pocono. Danielle Trotta alongside Cup Series driver Corey LaJoie, NASCAR Hall of Famer Carl Edwards. We're starting this race about 2 hours later. Trotta alongside Cup Series nature. Not playing so well to us this morning, but luckily the storms have moved through. The track is dry in the Sun Belt.
And we were showing all these pictures of fans. I've seen so many families out here.
Yeah.
Everything going on in the world today. Families out here enjoying racing together, part of something real. It's really special.
Absolutely. Depending on who wins here tonight, there might be some family starters, Carl, so we'll see.
92nd Cup Series race at Pocono, guys. We have no idea how this is going to go. 5 different winners here in the last 5 races. Now let's turn it over to our public address announcer for the invocation. Here's Mark Fredo with more.
Race fans, please rise as you are able. Remove your caps, and veterans render a hand salute as the James I. O'Neill High School and the United States Military Color Guard present our nation's colors. Here to offer today's invocation, please welcome President and Senior Chaplain of Motor Racing Outreach, Billy Malden.
Heavenly Father, it is a fantastic day here at Pocono, and we thank you for your presence in our lives. Today, our NASCAR family remembers the life and joy of knowing Major Pat Broussard. Please comfort his family and friends. Bless everyone with a great day of racing, and our nation, and those who protect our freedom as we all enjoy this sport we love. May your peace be with us all. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And now, here to perform our national anthem, please welcome First Class Navy Petty Officer retired General Wilson.
Oh, damn. Duh.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we
Hail at the twilight's but streets and bright stars.
Through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
Jerks Air Show team with the flyover. These fans are ready to see it, so and Pocono never disappoints. We're back with the four greatest words in racing.
That's a damn correct statement.
Racing, there are a lot of unofficial rules. Rules like only pass cars on the left. Don't drive on the grass. When you win, be humble. And you know what they said? Rules are made to be broken. Win.
Whoa, who are you guys? I'm you from the past.
And I'm you from the future.
Look, I need a cool outfit for a party.
And I'm looking for a suit for my daughter's wedding.
I might be able to help you fellas out. Life journey. New Candy is the wardrobe that grows with you. Tailored for every milestone. Look your best, dress the win. New Candy.
Run ultra fast. You need an advanced dynamic system. Now the Denbix Motor X tire inflator has one. It shatters industry stereotypes. As portable as the small, as powerful as the large. But that's not all.
4 minutes.
Colorful light beyond your imagination. Denbix Motor X redefines your journey.
Shady Rays sunglasses. Break them or lose them. Or replace them. Easy as that.
I was gonna need new Shady Rays tonight.
Let's get him another pair fast.
Shady Rays. Eyewear that has your back.
A new era of the WNBA is on Prime. The skills, the thrills, the dreams. All eyes on the W. Sparks, Fever, followed by Mystics, Aces, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Prime. Welcome back. Turns out, beautiful day here at Pocono, set for 400 miles. Who's your pick at the end of this one to win today?
Well, I think regardless of what Beyonce said, Denny Hamlin's the favorite. But I'm going with Kyle Larson. I think that he's going to respond well to all the difficulties today. I think they're going to get him back on track.
I'm going to tell you, the guy got his first career win. The 12 car looks strong yesterday.
These are defending down here 1 year ago.
Stage 1.
And joins and Adam Alexander.
I like the Falcons picking drivers coming from deep in the field. I like that. Jumping way out there as they make their predictions for today's race. Here we go at Pocono. 10 races to the playoffs. 92nd time we've raced here. Dale, simply put, there is no place like what you see when you race here.
You know, the longest front straightaway in the season, you're going down that front straightaway, reaching really, really high speeds going into turn 1. So the danger that awaits you down the corner if you have problems with the brakes or what have you is always in the back of your mind. It's tough to put that out. And also, that long straightaway creates so much chaos on restarts. You're really going to have to be on top of your game. Very clever and selfish on restarts today. And then we always talk about the tunnel turn, the bumps over the tunnel, gives drivers fits. A lot of guys are going to have a lot of problems getting over there. That's going to create a bunch of passing opportunities coming out of that tunnel turn. Well, the task of the pit box is doing the driver with these crazy 3 corners, because how this race is really unconventional, right? You can
You are the winner. So it's challenges for the driver and stress for the crew chief. The one guy that has solved this riddle so many times, Denny Hamlin, and today he starts on the pole.
He took a week off, and you always think, when he misses a race last weekend in Mexico, how's that going to affect the team? But no better racetrack to come back to and get back in the swing of things than Pocono for Denny Hamlin. He's dominant here. He goes out there, sets on the pole convincingly. Sends that driver to go out there and get the job done today. I like that word, swagger. We talk about talent, we talk about speed. Sometimes it's the advantage. You heard him and Carl Edwards go for a ride in the woods in the pre-race, and he was so comfortable to say, I don't need to win the championship. I needed to be home with my family. He was saying all these things with so much comfort. I think that spells a disaster for the rest of the field, because if he's comfortable out of the race car, He's doubled that comfort when he gets behind the wheel of this 11.
He has finished top 2 and 3 of the last 8 races here. And he has no doubt the driver to beat. It's time to here.
And now, here to say the most
Famous words in sports.
Please welcome 3-time Pocono race winner, 2004 NASCAR Cup Series champion, and 2026 NASCAR Hall of Fame class member, Kurt Busch.
Pocono, are you ready? To my fellow drivers, start your engines!
I'm loving the commands lately. Last week, Jim Gordon. Today, Kurt Busch. We're ready to go green. And
Bam, we're ready to go. Go ahead and bucket, boys. Let's go. It's
did they just hop from a baseball game to a show on Next without leaving DirecTV? It's like all their apps and channels are connected.
Oh, it's all connected. Shows, movies, sports, cooking shows.
Is she talking to us?
Tell me, how does DirecTV put all your favorite stuff on one home screen? Uncanny content suggestions based on your watch history? Or mind control?
Were you recently electrocuted?
Introducing genre packs starting at $34.99.
Well, I, for one, am intrigued. Like NASCAR, but don't know who to root for? Toyota's got you covered. This guy went from dirt tracks to cup cars. This new kid is all gas, no brakes. And the end.
Heads of Stage rated PG-13, only on Prime. Greetings from the installment. We're a band of dreamers. Just stricken. Greatness is the destination. So book your experience and soak in 500 miles of history and tradition. Once you arrive, you'll never look back. Secure your seats now at Daytona500.com.
bam.
Pocono. Turned out to be a great day for racing. 160 laps, 400 miles. Cars are rolling on. Qualifying happened yesterday. Let's get to our starting grid, presented by Dish. Front row, Denny Hamlin on the pole for the fifth time here. He's won 7 times in this place. Chris Buescher got his first career Cup victory here in 2016. Row 2, a couple of young drivers looking for their first win at NASCAR's top level. Carson Hocevar, John Hunter Nemechek, and they've had speed lately. Row 3, 2 drivers that have won here in the Xfinity Series. Cole Custer did it twice.
And Chase Briscoe.
Chase Briscoe. Row 4, Ty Gibbs got his first Cup start here, 2022. He's alongside Toyota teammate Tyler Reddick, who's been second in 2 of the last 3 races here. Christopher Bell in row 5 has won 3 times this season. And Daniel Suarez is there, one of 8 drivers inside the top 10 looking for their first win of the season. Hardy?
Adam, when I talked to Denny Hamlin this morning, he said if there's a Pocono race I'd probably rather not start on the pole for, this might be the one. His point in saying that was when it rains at Pocono, the track changes drastically. He said the entire field these first few laps.
We're going to continue to start in grid in row 6. You'll find the 43 of Eric Jones, and alongside is the 22 Nisky Ford, the 2012 Pocono winner, Joey Logano. 2 RFK drivers in row 7. It's Berlin, Connecticut. Brian Priest, and Pocono winner from 2011, Brad Keselowski. In row 8 from Huntington Beach, California, the 38 of Zane Smith, and 35-year-old Austin Dillon in the RCR number 3. In row 9 from Las Vegas, the 4 of Noah Gregson. And 2-time Pocono winner, Ryan Blaney. More from Marty with Joe Logano.
Junior, you can make the argument in the Cup Series garage. There is no better tandem than Paul Wolf as a crew chief and Joey Logano as a driver when it comes to strategy. You can also argue this is Paul Wolf's favorite part of the schedule with all these strategy races. When I talked to him about it this morning, he said the playbook today is
back to the starting grid, row 11, Coca-Cola 600 winner. Ross Chastain, surprisingly no top 10s here at Pocono. Looking for his first today. He'll start next to Justin Hayes, drive for Spire. Back in row 12, last week's big winner, SVG from Auckland, New Zealand. He'll start next to Kyle Larson. In that 5 car, everybody will have his eye on the 5. Back in row 13, Alex Bowman, the 21 Pocono winner, and he'll start next to a 4-time Pocono winner looking for his first win of the year, Kyle Busch. Row 14, Ty Dillon. He'll start next to Michael McDowell, coming off one of his best finishes of the year from Mexico City. And back in row 15, Riley Herbst making his first Cup Series start here at Pocono. Next to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. For more on the 5, let's go down to Kim.
Well, Steve, Kyle Larson still looking for his first Pocono win. And in talking with the 5 teams, they came with something a little different based on some things that worked at other tracks, just looking for more speed here. Well, when they unloaded in practice, it did not go quite as they hoped, and it left them searching a little. The team still trying to get Pocono dialed in, and this comes during a time when the team feels like they're in a little bit of a slump the last few races. However, they told me better to get through some of their gremlins now than have it happen later in the season.
We have to show the screen.
Playoffs.
Oops.
Thank you, Kim. Let's go to row 16. William Byron is there with Todd Gilliland, that 24 car. Great in practice yesterday, but crashed in qualifying. Row 17, A.J. Allmendinger with Bubba Wallace. Bubba, great in practice. They had issues in practice. 37. Brennan Poole doing double duty this weekend. He finished 16th yesterday in the Xfinity race. Down to Trevor Bay. Yeah, Adam, you mentioned it. We're looking forward to qualifying. When that starter broke, it kept him from firing up the car. They tried to push it to get it going. When he put it in gear, it would just lock solid. One of the pieces of that starter went into the flywheel, would not allow it to spin. So that's why they couldn't push start the car. They do think they have a good shot here with the strategy being opened up. They're starting toward the back, so that kind of points them in the right direction. Charles tonight told me we got to shoot for 30 points or better every race. That's a 10th-place finish for some stage points. So we'll see what they can do to make that happen today. Yeah, they need to get back on that stage point train. And we talk about strategy. Let's go to our second. 30 lap stage 1, 65 lap stage 2, 65 lap stage 3. That fuel window
38 to 40. This brand new Goodyear tire has a little bit more pace, so I'm hearing some crew chiefs are a little concerned. We thought 40 was a given, but if you have that overall pace, you got to burn some fuel to go faster. That's how it works. So we'll just have to see how it works over the course of the day.
Today, the first of 10 races until we reach the NASCAR playoffs. Once again, tied at the cut line. 3 drivers separated by 22 points.
Yeah, this is really important because Kyle Busch goes into last week's race at 0, right on top of that cut line. A new winner of that race is now out of 50. So push your ball with Chris Taylor. Even Taylor Waller, nobody is going.
Yeah. Come on in if you're watching the people give it to them.
Travis, we'll start the front booth. Gonna copy? Yes, sir. And another great effort out of this 42 car rolling off the second row.
Yeah.
Less than 1,000 times today in the pre-race. So give me the inside scoop. You have track position, fuel, tires. How do you call this race? What's the priority to keep this so coveted track position?
Oh, man, good question, But do you go for the stage points or you look at the end, you go for the win? So it's going to be Pocono all day.
Hasn't gone to green yet.
Man, good luck. I know there's going to be some twists and turns and some tough decisions. I know you're up for it. It's been great watching this legacy car get fast rotor team. Good luck today.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
I saw Travis after they finished 6th last week in Mexico City. I mean, he was worn out because of all the twists and turns of a strategy race.
And you heard right there, so we heard it, right? This is the part that they have to decide what's their pathway in the playoffs. Is it points? Is it track position? That intersection is coming in about 25 laps from first down. 5 wide into turn 1.
We had a lot of weather, a lot of delays. You've got to get back up on this horse. You've got to get back fired up, ready to go. All about
Yeah, back up, fired up, ready to go. Drop the green.
We're going straight up here. The rain is gone. A 2-hour delay, but now the sun is out and a sellout crowd. Ready for 400 miles in Pocono. NASCAR Prime ready to bring it to you. Let's put the green flag in the air and make it happen.
Boys! Let's go! Racing at Pocono. 3 wide going into turn 1.
Third position behind Buscher. I think Hocevar was the first one off track last Sunday in Mexico City. First out of line today, right to the tunnel turn.
Going into the tunnel turn.
Watch a chance to the inside of the 43 here. Eric Jones, but Eric's going to get that jump down the back of it, down the front straightaway from nothing that the one can do. Trying to follow in line, get a little help off the nose of the 3 of Austin Dillon.
That battle happening back around 15.
Chase Elliott to the inside of his teammate. Bowman, 3 wide. Dillon's going to clear both of those on the outside. Really tight behind him.
Yeah, really tight behind him. Let's listen in to
Josh Berry thinking about making a peek at the 20.
Cole Costa.
Now look at Van Gisbergen in that outside lane as Chase squeezes up through the middle of the top.
That's actually Bowman down before you get the inside of his teammate. SPG on the outside of that 3 wide is going to give him.
First 2 forwards is Chris Buescher and Cole Costa.
Brad Keselowski, the 6th one here. corner. He is now 11th.
Three laps completed. They haven't updated that yet.
Restarts here strong each and every time. A little bit of wind, a little bit of rain. I've been on the racetrack in quite some time, so you're going out there to really corners, get the confidence that you have in the lateral grip. How hard can you push this car? Each corner
Yeah.
a little
Hey,
bit further.
if you're watching doing that show on the NASCAR stream illegally, come on over from that.
The draft, in effect, third car in line, much like Jordan Downer right here. He got a chance to stay, right? So he can't put it near the corner, and then down the straightaway, tuck up in Logano carrying our forward performance on board camera. And paint that line coming off of turn 3. Great battle right here. The Briscoe Custer swapping positions for fifth.
You know, Briscoe was on the set in the pre-race, and I think in that he analyzed it accurately on board with the Toyota can. He said they just have to execute that. Right speed, have this car, have to turn it more quickly. But overall, it was an execution issue for the
Yeah.
A little bit off into the double turn. Logitech camera. RK Ford, Chris Busher. Busher's going to go to the top of the racetrack, try to get a little clean air, and then build momentum on corner exit to the back bumper of Denny Hamlin down this long straightaway.
All right, you mentioned momentum, and I had mentioned the snap, and that's really the key, right? So Denny Hamlin's actually slower back speed, 191 to 194 for Busher. So check this out again. On the right side, Hamlin leading will have the advantage in the corner, press downforce, but the drag is in effect. So on this straightaway, probably 2 or 3 miles an hour more top.
Yeah, that too.
Busher.
I'll be right back,
Look
everybody.
at that right there. He's going to be 180 to Denny, about 2 miles an hour, but he actually closed all the way up. I think at one point he started pushing the 11 away again. He has to lift earlier. The 17 has to lift earlier for the corner. He's in dirty air, not going to have the grip he needs to be able to drive the car deeper into the corner than Denny, so he'll back off the throttle, back up the corner, offset such as he's doing right here to try to get some clean air underneath that car for the downforce. Then get in the gas maybe sooner than Denny, start to accelerate down the straightaway. We'll see him get closer and closer. Here he comes. Does he get the defend? Look, then he goes long to defend. Here comes the 17 to the inside. There goes Chris Busher looking for room to race down low, turn 1. Hamlin led the first 6 laps. He's led here at Pocono in 11 consecutive races, and he's squeezed out. Head to that tunnel turn. Busher just didn't have the confidence to jump the outside there with anything in low. And he's like, I can't, if you want this, you're going to have to go the high.
Hamlin, Busher. 1-2. And then Carson, the 77 car. Oh. And then Chase Briscoe. Be right back in less than 30 seconds.
Subway's flip phones are packed with protein, like the ultimate BNT.
visit nationalgetaway.com to get started today.
Yeah.
Why GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco? From the basics like maintenance and repair parts to powertrain components, GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco are the true original.
22 laps to go.
Plus, AC Delco Gold and Silver parts are the only aftermarket parts backed by GM. Those in the know stay on the go with high-quality replacement parts from GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco.
Superman's not mad. You can get the same in this stupid outfit. Cocky grip. The entire world. I will destroy him.
Yeah, well, that too. Damn side-by-side commercials.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here. You're looking for good, huh? I'm gonna need it. I'm training for from after school pickups to meal prep to a 12-hour night shift. I don't have time to get ready. I've got to stay ready.
Dog Patrol starts with a Celsius. I got a whole day to see. First it's cardio, then it's a race against the clock. 3 fuel. I've got 48 to do in 24.
It's 4:49 a.m. Ground Celsius is locked in. I've got a folder hit and the active contract. I need to be the lifeboat and all the essential energy I need to do it.
NASCAR on Prime Video is brought to you by AMR. Get locked in on a Sunday afternoon in the Poconos, and you're watching the NASCAR Cup Series presented by Dish.
And Chris Buescher, Hamlin, Denny runs some pretty nice corners, but Chris has found a way really. I think turn 3.
Custo's -1, that's why he's in the lead. Analytics +4.
Steve, we take you back a couple of weeks to Michigan, where Chris Buescher finished second and was very disappointed to finish second. I asked him, is the speed here at Pocono as good as it was at Michigan 2 weeks ago? He said it might even be a little bit better. But I find where they are, they're pretty comfortably above.
Yeah, well, that too.
When you look at where the 17 is, but when you talk to Chris Buescher, you talk to Scott Graves, they will tell you that doesn't matter. We're in must-win territory. So if you were Scott Graves, Steve, how would you play the game from where they sit in the point standing?
I think you have a car that I've seen so far that can win. I'm not worried about points. I believe we're going to have winners. I know it says +55, but if you get 1 or 2 winners from below, you do not want to go to Daytona to end the regular season needing anything. You want to be locked in. We see it every year. Someone's going to get in on points, but it doesn't make that race any better.
Byron on the move early. From the back, they made the repairs. He's inside the top 20.
Yeah, there you see it on the bottom left, plus 14. Those passes will get tougher as you get closer to the front of the field, but this car had incredible speed. 5 and 10 lap averages. And let's look at the start of the race and see how aggressive he was. One of the first cars we saw jump out of the line, making 3 wide down the front straightaway, grabbing a couple of rows right here. Off into turn 1. That's a good angle. The race car right there, drive right up in that pocket. Dirty air all around, and the car still has the grip to be able to do that. Just remember,
Yeah.
the car that wrecked in qualifying, yet repaired. You know, if you ask me, go to a backup? Absolutely. I didn't give it up. For sure it's a backup. Hit contact in front of the car. No such luck that the 24 decided that they could fix this car. It was unbelievable in practice, and so far, it looks like Ruby Fuel as 24 made the right decision because it has the same speed I saw yesterday in the practice truck.
It's been a great track when you look historically for his motorsport.
Yeah.
All time. But it's a Toyota and a Ford at the front right now. Hamlin,
Toyota Ford.
Buescher just will not go away.
Yeah, Denny's doing a little bit of air blocking, a little bit of defense in turn 1 there. Kind of run into the middle of the corner and force the 17 to choose a lane. Has to drive through his wake a little bit. Down here, as Steve pointed out, you have to follow the driver through this particular part. There is no second groove. And you see how that costs the 17 speed on exit. But down here in turn 3, we've seen them both take different lines.
I think Busher would love the top. He's not going to get it, and he's going to take the top, so Busher has to take the bottom.
Come on in.
Momentum on the top for a little bit before the track starts to sort of flip the speeds a little bit down the front straightaway. Here it goes.
Yeah.
So the set scene just like here. 195 for the trailing car. So you talk about the pass, and we kind of showed you the onboards, and we headed to the prime garage, right? We're going to show you exactly, from an aero standpoint, what these drivers are trying to do. So this is the point of the straightaway, right? Second car wants to get in line, reduce that drag. It does reduce the ground distance, but your straight line speed is much better, so you can pull up. Well, then, at the end of that super long straightaway, you get to a corner, so what do, Dale? Now you're searching for air. So that trailing car, that's what's happening in turn 3. He's going to move left, get out of the way to that leading car. Downforce goes up, drag goes up. So offset at the corner, in line on the straightaway. That's the magic here at Pocono, but you got to get the timing right for it to work. That's what the 17's trying to do. And what Denny wants to do is watch in the mirror what that 17's doing down here in turn 1. If he can drive across the nose of that 17 and put him in that dirty air, he'll do that all day long. They've got to race to keep the lead, to keep the clean air.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, Denny's looking at this. I know it's 16 laps into 160 to win. You always have to have the clean air and the track position to be able to have the advantage on strategy and so forth throughout the day. So he doesn't want to get this lead up.
No, I don't disagree with that. I agree with that.
Because he's hanging on right here in this dirty air, able to stay within a couple car lengths. See if he can get this run. And turn 1, I think Denny's doing an amazing job of kind of taking that air away. That air block that you're talking about. Let's see if he can pull it off down here. It's pretty fascinating how good these drivers have become at defensive driving. Running the middle of 3 and 4, that also doesn't allow the 17 to put the momentum together to be able to tie that corner exit into this front straightaway. He also moved up the racetrack down here. A really, really good job of starting to spread out, make a little distance here between.
Cole Custer owns out the top 6.
Talk about what the trailing car is trying to do. Let's talk about the leading car, Dale. What's this air block? What is the leader trying to do in this situation right here to protect? Well, in the corner, he's trying to make it as dirty as possible. So when the car behind offsets a little bit, you see the downforce drag go up. Well, the lead car can just drive right across that nose. We'll see that happen a lot down in 1 and 2 and in 3 and 4. If the car goes in the corner lower than you, you can drive your car across the racetrack right in front of that car and take all of that downforce and drag away. The advantage now for Hamlin, a half a second. Busher, Hocevar, Reddick.
Yeah.
My TV provider let me choose what I pay for.
Sling lets you do that.
I wish my TV provider let me pause my subscription when I want.
Sling lets you do that, Buckle.
And I wish my TV provider gave me hundreds of free channels when I pause.
Sling lets you do that too. Choose and customize your channel lineup or pause and watch for free.
That's listening to I'm Blaney.
Ever since we hired Dale Jr. at IHOP, breakfast has been moving fast.
All right. Well, hey, got a quarter, pedal green.
I think just a little bit too much energy, Dale.
It's pancake.
Every lap. Practice is about consistency. Winning doesn't come easy. Yo! My turn, Bubba. Fuel road. Own your race. Logitech G wheels and pedals available now on Amazon.
Whoa, who are you guys? I'm you from the past.
And I'm you for the future.
Look, I need a cool outfit for a party.
And I'm looking for a suit for my daughter's wedding.
I might be able to help you fellas out.
2 woods.
Life is
No comment.
you, baby, is the wardrobe that grows with you. Tailored for every milestone.
Xfinity Series lights up Atlanta with a Friday night primetime showdown.
All right, here we go to Atlanta.
Where Austin Hill looks to defend his home track from Sam Mayer, Jesse Love, Connor Zillich, and the rest of a hungry young field. It's go time in the ATL, the NASCAR Xfinity Series special primetime edition. This Friday from Atlanta at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on the CW.
Experience the
Yeah.
incredible story of NASCAR's Garage 56 journey to Le Mans, a team fueled by innovation and driven to make history. American Thunder NASCAR to Le Mans. Watch now.
Man, folks.
Kosovar was third. He's now fourth. Here's what happened coming off turn 3.
Yeah, just a really, really huge slide. Contact with the right rear. My goodness. That is the roof flap. The roof flap was up on this. That is the best save of the year. I think it's got to be a contender. I know that the wall straightened him out, but seriously, man, this car is wrecked. Yep. He's so sideways, the roof flap deploys. So the air pressure has changed so much, it is trying to keep the car on the ground. That is out of control.
And now we get our pit road report presented by Dish. Here's Trevor.
We can't do it. That he's just really, really losing on edge. Obviously, as Steve's telling him, hey, hang on to it. We only need to go a few more laps to be able to pit here to work on that thing for you.
9 laps.
One position. He was a couple. He's now 7, but wow.
Right on board with Briscoe with the Toyota cam. It's, watching from this point of view through the last couple of laps, especially in turn 3. This 77 Eagle. He's barely hanging on. He's in dirty air right there. You see how that's. So Briscoe's going to create a run. Hosvar's going to block it as they go around the last car in the 44. Going to lose a little speed. 77 in turn 3. Briscoe's going to continue to pressure him.
Coming off a great run. Last weekend, great qualifying effort. Big 7. Racing for 4.
We'll see how can make this. He's going to wait a little bit here in the time draft just at this point. He can slingshot himself forward into the tunnel, but Hosvar is going to battle him on the inside. Now the 19 can't throw left. 77's got the momentum. Again, it makes slow him down, side draft. Even it out into 3, down into 3, another race. The 19 can drive the car in there, slide up in front of him, take that air away. Now he's got the position. Here comes the 41. Now the 77's in dirty air. Cole Custer with an opportunity to side draft down this front straightaway, going to pull himself even. He side drafts, gets away. Hosvar comes down to try to side draft him as well. Even himself back up into turn 1. And it worked. Like, look how much the momentum changed for that 77. I don't know if he can hold him off. I'm not sure if the car's driving good enough through the corner. Yeah, the 41. Oh, he can't really finish the throttle there. You see him get tight. Have to get out of the gas. Got to slow him down with the side draft again. Move away. Hosvar says, I'm coming down the track. I want to side draft you back. I want to battle you off in the tunnel, but he finally concedes. Says, all right, guys, I've had enough. I'm not comfortable. But here I come. I'm going to cross you over.
Cross over.
On second thought, try the inside lane. Crossover move. Here's the 77 trying to grab the spot back. Good stuff. Hosvar and Custer. We learned Hosvar does not concede. He's got other plans. He's going to continue to battle this.
Yeah.
That's going to bring some of the cars behind them into this fray as well.
Yeah, that 54 right now is getting a monster tow. Brad Keselowski's flying. He's going to pull up here. Brad's taking 3 for 1 right here. He's got to turn down to the 54. If he can roll the ball, I'm on board with the 6. You got to gas up. If he clears the 54, that's a big F. Can't do it. Now, no drafting help. 54 is going to pull back ahead with the tow from the 77 to the 41. Brad's going to try to keep that side draft alive. He's going to do it.
Roll +6 in the first part of this.
Really
Oh, yeah.
positions. We're coming around from lap 25 on board with Brad again. Will he make this pass? He will get shut off. What I was getting ready to say is, remember, you want to pit. It's as we see Brad pull by. We'll see how these drivers decide to stay
inside the top 10. Good qualifying effort. And now making a schedule great. What Steve was talking about, Adam, was exactly the conversation between Matt Twiderski, the crew chief, and Daniel Flores. They were right on the edge of being the leader out of pit road by making it probably a little bit earlier than they wanted to, but because of that time difference, they had to come now.
Yeah.
Well, I know they thought they were right on the number, and it is going to be close because here comes Denny Hamlin with a full head of speed down in turn one. The 99, though, he's just onto the track, especially with the momentum. I think he's fine. I think he's going to stay a second in front of the 11. It's a great call by the 99 team. Hitting. Remember, they stayed on the racetrack a couple more laps. They're going to keep losing time because they're back there in traffic. Just a bright call on top of that pit box to leave that pit opportunity for the 99. A couple of mission accomplished, stayed on the lead lap. Now, next time around with 3 to go, it is going to be busy. Dale, you think this is a pit road entry that's pretty straightforward. Nice flat, kind of attack.
Yeah, it's a really long braking zone, very straight entry. And so drivers get aggressive.
Yeah, Kenneth.
Coming on the pit road, spin out, wreck their car. They'll get caught speeding in those first few segments.
Who, why is Rhino? I think he is.
Plan stops toward the end of stage 1, Trevor.
Yeah, we got the 6 of Rakulowski coming down. One of the fastest cars in the field. The last 10 laps or so was able to drive up and do it the hard
I know I have him and Sheila, I believe. Him and Sheila. I haven't seen him yet. At least not in my chat.
You don't see a ton of cars, but that's because you can't. You'll lose a lap like the 99 almost did to Denny Hamlin. I will say, as we see these cars leave pit road, the leaders are going to be on the front stretch kind of at the top of your screen. The 99 did pull out in front of the 11. The problem he has right now is 11 on old tires is still just faster. He has closed it now. Now Suarez has to drive these last 2 laps for everything it's worth to try to stay in front of the 11. That's going to be difficult traffic off pit road.
But Denny is also seeing traffic for the first time all day. So you got to hope that you're telling your driver, you're telling Suarez, look, man, just hold him back there. He's going to struggle in this dirty air. Give him all the. Tell his driver, hey, man, come on,
That ain't a bad statement right there by Dale Jr.
Overdrive the entries, give me good exits down these long straightaways.
And when you look at the strategy, it makes perfect sense to me. Denny Hamlin could win a stage and get a stage point. Busher, Reddick, Briscoe, what does it mean when you haven't won a race? That you have to get those points. You got to get them while you can get them.
Well,
So Busher, Reddick, and Briscoe all stay on the racetrack because they're above the cut line, but have yet to have that guaranteed entry into the playoffs, trying to pad that point gap.
Busher came into the day at plus 19. Briscoe nearly 40 points above the cut line coming in. They'll take all they can get. Jones, Zane Smith, Logano, Chase Elliott, Byron, other drivers inside the top 10. How about William Byron? You start in the back after crashing yesterday in qualifying, but comes in with a regular season points lead. Final stage 1. Denny Hamlin, so good at this racetrack, and he's going to lead them all in this first stint of the race. Back to the green and white checker. Despite all of his success, this is only the second stage win for Denny here at Pocono. The 4th time he's won a stage in 2005. Busher second, Reddick, Briscoe, Jones complete the top 5.
Took us a little bit to get going with the weather. But those first 30 laps didn't take long at all. It went by in a blink.
Yeah, damn right it did.
When we come to stage 2. So far, so good. NASCAR on Prime. Live in the Poconos. We're glad.
Hey, Kenneth, Nancy is questionable, ladies and gentlemen. I do have him on. Him, you, and I'm going to go with Tito. Oh, yeah, by the way, caution. End of the stage. End of stage 1.
Racing isn't just a game. Every lap. Winning doesn't come easy. Yo! My turn, Bubba. Feel the road. Own the race. Logitech G wheels and pedals available now.
Whoa, who are you guys? I'm you. I'm for a party. I'm looking for I might be able to help you fill it. It's his journey. Denny is the wardrobe that grows with you. Tailored for every Look your best dress for win. Cute, Danny.
And since we hired Dale Jr. at IHOP, breakfast has been moving fast. It's pancake! Dining.
Good old high hop of Dale Jr.
Travel. It's gone from being an adventure. You just need a better way to find it. Introducing Master
Tip.
Don't just see it, experience it.
This experience
Next up, booty time.
The Wi-Fi is booming like a
XW unicorn IPO.
Green meat sideways. It's bursting with Wi-Fi.
Now everyone who knows a boom when they see it is going to want to in.
The Wi-Fi's moving.
NASCAR Prime Video is brought to you by Dish. Catch the rest of the season with Dish. F1 the movie in theaters and IMAX June 27th, rated PG-13. Stage 1 complete. Let's go to Kim.
Yeah, we talk about compromise with the 3 corners here at Pocono. That's the case for Tyler Reddick. He said, I'm really losing 3, but I'm worried if we make an adjustment, I'll get too tight 1 and 2. So they're electing to leave it alone. Then you'll take 2 cans of Sunoco Kill and put fresh tires on that Toyota. Trevor.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe was talking about how much the track is about to change after they put rubber down during that run. James Small told him to wait on him for some fuel. It's going to be quick, though, he says.
Richard told Scott Graves, Trevor, the fire-off speed was so good. It just got 2-3 on Waller, turns 2 and turn 3. Denny Hamlin, flat to flat, stage win for Hamlin. He gets the 1 playoff point. He said the car was neutral, but overall 2-3 off turns 2 and 3. Of those who pitted, Chris Buescher wins the race off pit road.
Buescher, Hamlin, and Jones 1, 2, 3. And then Elliott, McDonald, goes on.
When you decide to step up to this kind of play, this kind of fun, this kind of experience.
Hey guys, why are you dressed like you're in a boy band?
Let the games begin. Nintendo Switch 2 altogether. Anytime, anywhere. Rated E for everyone.
When my doctor gave me Breztri for my COPD, I noticed things changed. Breztri gave me better breathing starting within 5 minutes. It also reduced flare-ups.
Breztri won't replace your breathing problems. I'm not sure if you're taking it. Don't take it. Breztri increases the risk of thrush, pneumonia, and doctor enforcing breathing. For tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Ask your doctor about Breztri.
Wow. What the heck? I know it's NASCAR. Mobile One.
Hey, look at that. They got one of DirecTV's new genre packs. I think you mean genre packs. Yeah, that's what I said. Now they can pay less and pack just the TV they want. Pick
No comment.
The TV they want. Yeah, now you're getting the picture. I give up.
Jackaways presents the greatest duo.
The greatest duo, or you mean the greatest wackadoodle commercial?
Two flavors, one bag. New Jackaways duos.
To tell you the truth, we could take or leave the extravagance, the attention, the celebrity, the bragging rights, the bravado. Because all we've ever really wanted is for every Ford driver to feel that.
This relief lap is sponsored by National Debt Relief. When debt hits relief, gets you back on track. Cody Ware gets his lap back here in Pocono. And now we go down to Danielle and the fellas. What's up, Danielle?
Well, double era, a lot to keep. Denny Hamlin winning stage one, but it's the young gun, our last rookie of the year, 2024 host of our You Have Your Eye on, Carl.
Yeah, when we heard the drivers talking about how their cars were balanced, Busher was running Denny down. He said it got too loose, right? It's really treacherous here. Denny said the balance was great, but a little too loose. We saw Carson Hocevar. I think it's a save of the year. Came off of turn 3, obviously too loose. I'm worried that maybe he damaged that car a little bit, but this is a save. Don't make hardly ever. That is very, very different. Part of me, especially for it.
Man, and every lap, Carl's trying to push the limit of that grip through 3 to get the long run down the straightaway. And right here, he's just on the verge and trying to squeeze the gas pedal, loses regular traction, but somehow straightens it out with an immaculate save out of the Carson Hocevar. But what notice?
Chasing the wall already.
Got popped out, and it has changed the dynamic.
Still didn't know how he didn't go around.
I think this is going to fall in the hands of the experienced drivers. You see Denny Hamlin, obviously in control of the race. William Byron coming up through the field. Brett Keselowski running well. Lots of changes are going to happen, and we will not go caution-free this entire race.
All right, you heard it from Carl Edwards. Denny Hamlin won stage 1. Will restart 8th in stage 2. Sounds like Double A. Brett Keselowski's going to inherit the lead here.
Yeah, another driver that's experienced success here in Pocono. Brad, a winner, 4-time runner-up. Also, one thing to pay off, speeding for Kyle.
Reddick also lost a couple spots on the road. He's going to restart just outside the top 15. So the tire change. Wait. And then gets a little tripped up. Gas man's foot, gun changes. Then he goes to tight, goes to loose, and comes back. The car's full. But it was just really interesting to me how you talk about like the choreography. Normally it's all about speed for the tire changer. He just waited. But the gas man get his business done first because that's what everyone is waiting on pit road. You see the front of the field there, all those cars flipping the stage. The cars that have come to pit road will be in 8th and 9th position. Chris Busher, Denny Hamlin. More intense. What you road is the push from the road. You can force that to happen if you're in that outside lane. The inside. If he chooses to do so. So what does Busher do in row 2? What are the cars behind do? Do they jump out?
Best anywhere on the circuit, right here. Scream down into trouble.
Lose track position. Easy clear.
Hamlin getting aggressive. He and Busher side by side.
Busher stacking up that middle line, that white.
Yeah, stacking it up.
Yeah, 4 wide right here.
Not just 4 wide, maybe 5.
Zane Smith in that mix.
Almost gets into the left rear of the
dirty air. You're in a pack of cars in that dirty air. Your car just slides across the racetrack. There's nothing Zane can do to keep that car down the racetrack.
Huh.
Joey Logano, his experience, he gave up the tunnel. Work if I push my way in there, and I think that's the only reason I didn't wreck. And he comes out, I think, the winner with a little forward momentum.
Live to fight another day.
Well, not just that.
Patience and aggression at Pocono. Hamlin the restart.
That's important.
Hamlin up to 6.
At that stage, Danielle told us he was going to restart. And now he's trying to get that track position back on board with Christopher Bell inside Chase Elliott.
Bell making it happen into the tunnel turn. No problem. 20. Here comes Chase, rallying back and waiting in the wings. Chris Buescher. 17.
Good. Flying by, wanting some positions. Come on in if you're brand new. We always will welcome new drivers. New people.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. He doesn't get either spot. 43 of Eric Jones now looking at the inside of the 77 down. A little bit, and you hear Byron. Great view of this battle now. Jones side drafting a little bit, getting that run, going away from the 17. He'll drive off into the tunnel side by side. Maybe on the inside. Not to get loose, not to jump up the racetrack. Butcher almost into the outside wall, off corner into the tunnel. Again, down into 3. You're trusting this guy on the inside, not to get loose, not to push up into your door. Byron is thinking, you keep side drafting each other.
Instead, Eric Jones slides in line. Byron rides 12 after starting in the back.
Look at this top speed, 196 miles an hour. You're almost at the... It's not meant to go 200 miles an hour. Tire diameter, gear ratio, you're
No.
going to get the rev limiter. When you get up around 196, 197 miles an hour, you just kind of get the terminal velocity.
Bubba Wallace and his buddy Blaney swapping positions right there. Bubba's going to actually lose a couple spots there. Get out of the gas, and now he's got
Bubba got out of the gas with him.
number 3 car off the Dillon to the inside through the tunnel. So Bubba Wallace was passing Blaney, goes by Blaney, gets up into turn 1, missed the corner a little bit, lost a little speed, and now he's lost a couple spots and battling side by side here to maintain.
Bubba did make a qualifying run yesterday. They had an issue with it. In a track where he's really performed in recent years. 57 above the cut line coming in, and some work to do. This the Toyota onboard camera as you ride with the 23.
And the 3 of Austin Dillon decides, all right, I'm not going to make this pass, and I don't want to say positions as the draft will train by you on the outside. Maintain his track position. Buescher to the inside now. It looks like Suarez off into the tunnel turn. Christopher Bell shading a little high.
Denny Hamlin has gained a few more spots since Adam ago. He is up to the 4th position. You know, Steve mentioned 2025 NASCAR. I think when fans hear, they think it's more of an end of the race thing. But in this day and age of NASCAR, it's still Hamlin and his crew.
Yep, you're right. Anticipating I was trying not to lose for 70, but we were really close. We just barely not got it.
So see, that time difference we talk about on pit road was less than 2 seconds, but every second counts in today's NASCAR, to your point.
So basically, Denny Hamlin's in pit stall. Get into their pit stall, change the tires, and literally just look up pit road and try to time it, is what the creature said. The 17 didn't wait on fuel, so there was no wait, get as much fuel to maintain. That's the advantage of sitting on the poles at number 1.
Brad Keselowski's got the fastest lap of the race. He's also led 5 this season coming into this afternoon.
Yeah. Caution.
You can get treatment for weight loss, ED, and hair loss. It's made just for you.
The breakfast eggs combo, $6. French toast breakfast, $6. $6 for all this and all that.
Can't even turn. Kept going straight. Kaboom.
Racetrack, tour, level 1 by total, whatever you drive more beautifully.
Back is back. 8-division champ Manny Pacquiao makes his triumphant return. In his way stands WBC champion Mario Barrios. Plus Fundora versus Zoo 2. And Pitbull runs it back against Angel Fiera.
Can you say fight of the year?
It's a stacked night of hard-hitting title fights. Pacquiao versus Barrios, Saturday, July 19th, live on PBC pay-per-view on Prime Video.
Caution out for the second time today. First time for off board here. You see him pulling in. And AMR safety team made their way to the scene, assisting Riley.
We'll take a look here. Right? You have to wonder, we don't see many right front tire failures. You have to wonder if there was something that created an issue. Was there contact with the wall, maybe contact with another car in the previous?
That happened in turn 1.
3 wide a couple times. I think you got this. So to your point, Dale, think you ran something over, had a slow leak, you run a couple more laps, and then it goes down. I mean, we talk about just some turn 1 of Pocono have seen some of the biggest wrecks. So I know he's out of the race. It's unfortunate, but good situation. It could have been worse if it blew at a different time. Still a pretty decent hit, but we have seen some vicious wrecks down there in turn 1.
Yeah, that's probably the scariest entry to any corner in NASCAR because you're carrying so much speed. And we've seen some bad accidents, brake failures. I think about Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, several in recent memory. And it's been happening to Pocono since this place has been around. Really tough corner. You see that happen, you have to block it out. All the other drivers have to, hey, man, that's not going to be me today. Pit road's going to stay closed, so we'll get a break in on time.
You love legendary subs, so you'll love our legendary new Doritos football nachos. Doritos and Subway, 2 legends come together to
Legends eating legends. Am I right?
Yes, thank you, Marshawn. Doritos footlong nachos, just $5, only at Subway.
Perfecting your
Nice shot, Dad.
blood, replacing
Right under the damn windshield.
Go to SafeLife.com and we can come to you. Sick. Our highly trained techs can replace your windshield where you are, even if that's right in your driveway.
Huh.
Good day. I love you. With flexible payment options, get it fixed now and pay later. Only at SafeLife.com.
Safe Life Repair, Safe Life Replace. Woo!
3 wishes go.
TV Genie, I want to save $30 a month on TV like Dish customers.
You only get 3 wishes, not 30.
Get Dish. Save up to $30 a month and get 3 months free.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. The heartbeat's strong, steady, unwavering. Like the people who keep this country moving. Doing what they do best. Helping neighbors, pitching in, getting it done. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. And every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Hitting the open road is not just about the miles you travel. It's about the freedom you find along the way, where relaxation embraces the spirit of discovery, where technology seamlessly blends into the background, where innovation meets dependable design, and home comforts are always within reach. Because life's best stories aren't written inside 4 walls. They're lived out here.
That's my team out there.
If our network goes down, lives are at stake.
Our comms have to work.
Well, the mission won't.
That's why we partner with Verizon Frontline.
The network truly prioritizes first responders.
So we don't worry about getting through. And they're the most reliable 5G network in America. Out here, reliability is everything.
Extreme or routine, Verizon Frontline delivers.
The #1 network choice in public safety. Learn more. Your mission is our purpose.
Put your Prime membership into overdrive with movies that are right in your lane. Screen hits like Air, Moneyball, and Ford vs. Ferrari. Hard driving drama hits on Prime. Celsius onboard camera. Right with AJ Allmendinger. We got some takers on the pit lane.
Yeah, not really a window, but we saw pit stop. If you put a little fuel in here, Kim, you should have to wait on the next pit stop.
Yeah, a lot of crews keep telling their drivers, this doesn't necessarily put us on our window, but it gives us more flexibility later in the race. You see Alex Bowman just with those right sides and fuel.
We're going to go green from here with stage 2. Chris Buescher could not make it to the end of the stage. However, get a couple cautions. You never know. They might be able to make it to the end of the stage. They've got Ray Texas call to come down for 4 fresh new tires. They did not wait on fuel last time. They get it full and maybe can make it to the end with a little help from caution.
That's like stop for a snack in a traffic jam. Didn't really cost you anything, so why not come down and get a little gas?
Yeah.
So, you like NASCAR but don't know who to root for? Here's some Toyota legends you can get behind. Meet Tyler Reddick. Crushed it in Xfinity Series and now he's here. Basically the Cinderella story if Cinderella drove 200 miles per hour. Then there's John Hunter Nemechek. New kid on the block. All gas, no brakes. Oh, and Denny Hamlin. Ever heard of Daytona? He's won it 3 times. No big deal. We have a lot of drivers. All legends. You pick. You in?
Perfect race. Denny Hamlin leading the pack on the final lap.
Yeah.
Oh, Hamlin's hit. Hamlin is out.
True in racing. When hit is hard, National Debt Relief helps you take control, so you can pay less than you owe and less time than you think. Your finances. Visit NationalDebtRelief.com to get started today.
When I use my Bosch miter saw, I feel smooth.
Smooth like.
When I use my Bosch power tools, I feel like a savage.
Like a macho man. Ready with my Bosch rotary hammer?
It's for the engineer power tools. The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch.
It starts with Celsius. Feel like you feel good about it. I'm going to need it. I'm training for life.
Don't count it.
From after school pickups to meal prep.
Still on the caution.
I don't have time to get ready.
Push caution.
Belt control starts with a
For an incident. Second total.
First it's cardio, then it's a race against the clock.
So two total.
48 to do in 24.
It's 4:49 a.m.
Grab a Celsius, lock in. I've got a goal to hit and a deck to conquer. A party to be the life of, and all the essential energy I need to do.
50 to go.
Welcome
The
back
stage.
to Field and Street. On every page, history, each trail, a story, your story. We exist to help you share the moments that matter, like the thrill of a topwater strike, the smell of wet dog and duck feathers at dawn, and the beating in your chest when that buck steps out. Field and Street. The greatest stories happen outdoors.
Throughout NASCAR on Prime, you are hearing an anthem. It's our anthem, Up Around the Bend, an Amazon Music original by John Fogerty and Eric Church. Scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to add this song to your playlist. Available to stream only on Amazon Music. You're watching NASCAR Cup Series racing from Pocono, presented by the day.
Second caution of the day.
Wild scene, all pit road, riding on board with AJ Allmendinger. He's coming into pit road and take a look at this. He's going to hit his tire carrier. Watch his tire. Look at the tire and goes, hey! Right in the upper torso, the head area of the rear tire changer for the 88, JP Keeley. He's a D1 lacrosse player, so he's taken some hits before. But this right here, that is a vicious hit. In his hand, it almost looks like he drops the gun. You see him, he grabs the gun and gets up and finishes the stop. You want to talk about tough and athletic Trevor.
Yeah, Richie used to be my jackman here. He's a pit coach now at Trackhouse. Says JP's rib.
Hey, Dennis.
Obviously, they caught him off guard there.
Hey, how are the Blades doing?
I mean, that's just, whew, that is some scary situation. Good to see him finish the stop. Being checked on right here. You know, we talk about that. I think we forget. Right, so they're running 200 miles an hour. It's unbelievable. But pit road speed is 55. You can run 60. I don't know about you, Adam, but I don't really want to go stand on the side of the interstate at 60 miles an hour. That's really what these guys are doing. And these drivers are looking at their dash, and they're looking up, and they're trying to get in their stall. It's just, there's a lot of commotion. Thankfully,
there's a lot of stuff going on.
At the time, and it's just a really scary reminder of just how quickly it can go wrong. Get back in here. Fuel tank. A little more fuel in there, a little more assurance to drive a little further. And everybody chose. We're lining up for one to go, coming to the tunnel turn up here.
Tunnel turn.
Scan the QR code to save on gaming products.
5 3. They lost
the
today.
official wheel and pedal of NASCAR. Right here with Denny Hamlin. Won the opening stage. He's led 32 laps today. Let's get a report on Chris Buescher, Marty.
He was the furthest car forward to come to pit road under that last caution. Adams, here's what Scott Graves told his driver.
All right, I know that was a hit there, but it's going to help us later this stage. It's going to help us get the things here later. We're just a couple laps short from making the stage.
So, Steve, if you're sitting in Scott Graves' seat, what is the nerves like right now? Knowing you have one of the best cars, but you're going to restart 22nd.
Well, this is the concern, right? This is the, you can call all the strategies you want. You need your driver to do the best he can in the restarts, but this is where the kind of the wheels can come off. No wrongdoing of your own. Like, Buescher has no choice. He's stuck in the top. He's going to fire off down into turn one and just hope all of these cars in front of him.
Flying nice.
Get the restart with 7.
Back in the ring. Boys. Let's go. Here comes Denny to the back of the 77. That's Cole Custer on the leg. Poking out of line. Brad's going to clear. Gibbs and Hamlin.
Larson out of line, racing his teammate Chastain, trying to make something happen as we.
Chastain trying to make something happen.
A good push for the 45 of Reddick off into turn 3. Oh, Denny Hamlin up the racetrack with his.
Hamlin up the racetrack. 2 for the price of 1. Yeah.
Right to the back bumper, Denny Hamlin. Still looking out back there. William Byron that just got the third started last in a repaired primary after that accident and qualified on this 24 car so far. They put themselves right in the game. It's wild back here in the back. I mean, there's so many runs. Oh, look at this, man. So many things happening. You got to stay on the offense. You just got to keep chopping away at it. No wonder it's so short. Okay, yeah, really good system. 3 wide.
3 wide.
And the 54 kids. You know, this reminds me of Elliott, about how good he is here. He's won at this racetrack. But I go back to last year.
Keselowski, Carson.
And drives back through the field to finish inside the top 10. Maybe today he's going to be in for number 9 as they're racing for position behind him. His teammates are there. 48 is Bowman, 5 is Larson. Reddick and Blaney also a part of that finish. Reddick's been so good here. To be able to get through this track position, get his car up toward the front. He's going to push this 2 car. Barry pushing the 5 through. These guys are still battling. John Nemechek and Gibbs. Gibbs is probably getting pretty frustrated right now with this 42 car. Here comes pushing through. Impressive days for Nemechek and Custer. Impressive weekends because they qualified great yesterday.
Keselowski.
10 finishes in Mexico City. Nemechek and Custer side by side, slowing each other down.
Here comes the 22 Logano.
Draft up on these guys into the corner. Find the clean air. Again, very patient, eases down in the corner. Knows it's dirty now. Look, 41's in the dirty air, so the 22 knows that he can get to the inside here. Look at this side draft. So tight. You have to be aggressive. You got to get right up on that quarter to make that work. Look at Jones waiting in line the 43. Cole Custer's got a fast car, but he's just in a bad spot here. And everyone knows that they're taking advantage of it. On board with Bell. You see Bell has to get out of the gas there on corner exit of 3.
Yeah.
Run on this 43 down the front straightaway. Jones in 10th, Bell in 11th. 43 up the racetrack.
43 up the racetrack.
Trying to make that work. Man, it's back here. Bubba Wallace in the middle. Bubba squeezes up in front of the 17. Bubba has not just been able to find track position today. He really, every time he is where he is in the running order, it's somewhere right around 20th or on back. And that's why when that car we were sitting on board with it, and you saw Bubba bang the steering wheel in frustration. He wasn't mad at his team. He was frustrated because he's done this enough to know this is right. You have a good quality. Now, if you're William Byron, probably top 3 car in the field, he's driven up the 4th. But if you're just an okay, or even a good car, just not a good car, I'm sure Bubba Wallace is. It's so hard to put your way out. I call it the black hole back here. You just can't get any traction.
Jones is actually pit road report coming up.
And how about this luck? They took the tires off after they changed it, and as they checked the tires, they realized, unbeknownst to them, they had a right side tire going down before that caution. They had no idea because they came down. They were able to avoid disaster.
23, if Bubba Wallace has an issue, a right side tire.
Smoke coming out of Bubba.
I don't know. That's a good question. This one has which is first, right tire or wall? We don't know. Window down already down. You can tell he has had like his frustration is peak on this 23. It took some time, but we do get our today. Immediately you look at the points. It's plus 56 and plus 15 on our leaderboard. Said he didn't have much track position. He was 27 when he had this problem.
On the outside of Chris Buescher down the straightaway. Similar to Hurst. I was going to say team car. Yep.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Hold it up there. They hold it up there.
The emotion in his voice. He can tell that right from here. He has there's no control. The car is going to break. Whichever is in front of you is what you're going to hit. And you can hear it. That's what you face when you. That is such a harder hit than it looks. I mean, that is a hard hit right there. You see Bubba out of the car, walking by his teammate, the 35, also right front. We didn't know if he had run over something, but two cut tires. You know, we just heard from Kim. 48 had a cut right side as well. Maybe the breakout there these guys are getting into, but just, not the trend. Whatever the cause, not the trend you're looking for. If you're Reddick, you're the third 2311 car still on the racetrack, and you have to hear on the radio that the other two have both cut right front tires. That doesn't make the scariness of Pocono get any better.
Let's go to the highs and lows of racing at this level. And Bubba Wallace had had 3 straight finishes outside the top 30 of big concern. Last 3 weeks, inside the top dozen. Felt like they had regained the momentum. Today, this, and like Steve said, it kind of all began yesterday when they couldn't make a qualifying run, and now he's out of the race. Just about the midway point of our second stage at Pocono. Brad Keselowski is the race leader.
Ever since we hired Dale Jr. at IHOP, breakfast has been moving fast.
Look, it's pancakes.
Will you send my pancakes?
People always said I could light up a room, but psoriasis, until I got clear skin. I can't wait to say I'm back.
Only Bimzelx targets and blocks IL-17A plus F to calm inflammation. Bimzelx can deliver transformative relief.
Most people got 100% clear skin. Some after the first dose. I'm back to shining again.
Serious side effects like suicidal thoughts and behavior, infections and lowered ability to fight them, liver problems, and inflammatory bowel disease occur. Tell your doctor if these happen or worsen, or fevers, chills, muscle aches, or cough occur, or you've had a vaccine or plan to. Before starting, get checked for infections, tuberculosis, and liver problems.
Give yourself a chance to say I'm back.
Ask your dermatologist about Bimzelx.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. They got one of the X. Genre pack. Now they can do that and practice TV. Pick TV. Yeah, now you're getting the picture. I give up.
Why GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco? From the basics of maintenance and repair parts to powertrain components, GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco. True original equipment for all General Motors vehicles. Plus, AC Delco Gold and Silver parts are the only aftermarket parts backed by GM. Those in the know, stay on the go with high-quality replacement parts from GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco.
Told you're looking for a driver.
Wait. Now.
Anything else, Professor?
Try fast.
Just keep watching. Just keep watching. Just keep watching.
F1 the movie. Rated PG-13. In theaters and IMAX. Right A.
30 to the Nascar's Cup Series under caution for the third time today. A problem for Bubba Wallace in the 23. Where's Brad Keselowski?
All right, so you're going to
pit road was closed. A huge mistake by the 6 of Brad Keselowski pitting. Mistakes you just cannot make the track position. Exactly right, Steve. And they called it open to Brad, and he came down pit road. Right when he got on pit road, they called it trick play, hoist, whatever that is. And then as soon as he got on the road, he said 4 tires. See some frustration. Look, confusion, frustration, head shaking, disappointment. And Jeremy Bullets is beyond upset right here because all we talked about all day was strategy and qualify well. And then pit when it is closed is an instant tail of the field penalty for the 6 cars. So he'll be the last car on the racetrack. It is going to be a long grind with 103 laps for the 6. We got some more looks at the replay from the 45 car. Bubba Wallace off the tunnel. We think we know exactly why this failure happened. Yeah, so we take a little look here. Let's see if we get my thing right here. Yeah, there you go. Look at that right there. That shiny piece. This piece right here is what I'm looking at. I believe that's a part of a brake rotor. So, Dale, you and I talked about this. We weren't sure if the tire went down or if it was when he stepped on the brakes, but it looks to me that the brake rotor has a flat tire is not going to you need to be on the brakes when you hit the wall. That would break a rotor, but the cause and the effect, the brake rotor looks first, and then the third 2311 car had this conversation about brakes.
Yeah, the only good news is our braking were a lot lower than theirs in practice, so we're just gonna have to go to a good stand. But I'll be honest, that's not gonna keep it from happening.
I don't know that.
I don't know. I guess they were almost 400 degrees a month.
And so you can hear the worry in the driver's voice, the concern about his fate. Is he going to have that same situation of blowing a tire, no brakes, and up into the fence he goes? Now,
Carson Hocevar coming down pit road from the lead now after Brad Keselowski pitted earlier. They're debating on the radio whether or not to fix that roof flat material we saw come up earlier in the race. 24 cars right behind him. They're working on that as well. And the 16 just now gave the report to Brad that they're going to get a penalty when they saw everybody else coming down pit road.
Trevor pitting with 37 to go in stage 2. These teams can make it to the end of the stage. Chase Elliott flexing. Hamlin in his car. Get tighter in traffic, especially turns 1 and 3. It stops 37 to go in the stage. 10 drivers stay out. 2 tires for Hamlin. As we talk, he's the first off pit road.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
You need an advanced dynamic system. Now the Denbix Motor X tire in your house. It shatters industry stereotypes. As portable as the small, as powerful as the large. But that's not all. A leading power bank. Powerful light beyond your imagination. Denbix Motor X redefines your journey.
Subway's footlongs are packed with protein, like the Ultimate BNT or the All-Pro Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki with 58 grams of protein. And now, Subway MVP Rewards members can buy any footlong in the app and get another for just $1. Fuel up now in the Subway app.
When my doctor gave me Breztri for my COPD, things changed. Breztri gave me better breathing, symptom improvement, and reduced flare-ups.
Breztri won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breztri more than prescribed. Breztri may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or high blood pressure.
Ask your doctor about Breztri.
Hi, TV Genie.
What do you want? I wish I could find my shows easily.
I wish my primetime TV was automatically recorded.
I wish I could record more. But here, I swapped your upgrade to dish. Get voice control, recording power. You're welcome. Call now and save up to $30 a month and get 3 months free. We should get dish.
At the Glen, the thrill isn't just on the track. It's in a campground, the grandstands, in the heart of everything. stars of NASCAR racing. This is the best weekend of your summer. This is the Glen NASCAR weekend at Watkins Glen. Get your tickets now at Glen.com.
Big news here at Pocono Raceway. Race leader Brad Keselowski came to pit road while it was closed. Jeremy Bullins did not hear the pits were still closed. After they pitted, they thought they were just the only ones to take it. The conversation.
Not sure what happened there. There was a lot of people talking about coming. So head down, run out right here. Because he just come right back to us.
Your reaction, Steve?
I mean, it's shocking. I mean, it's easy to do, right? These radios are single communication. If two guys are on the radio at the same time, you can't really hear either at times. So, you know, it's a mistake that you can't afford to make. But I don't want to make it sound like it's hard to make it. It's an easy mistake to make. We've seen some of the best teams, best drivers make it. Possibly for the 6th car.
All Penske front row for the restart. Logano sent out their teammate Ryan Blankenship on the side of the box.
Ross Chastain, hard left-hand turn. He did this on the previous restart. Let's see if it works. But also to the inside of Cindric.
Well, to make it work in that inside lane. He drives through the 6th. Logano away with the lead.
Dennis back there just looking up the field on these restarts. Stenhouse to be inside here, 3 wide down into the tunnel.
Such an aggressive move for that bright yellow 47. Makes it work. Chase Briscoe looking to get.
Every recent into turn 1, I'm shocked. I'm surprised. I just can't believe they can get it figured out.
And I hold my breath for Denny Hamlin because he's had such a good race car. But when you make those pits, it's always so dangerous. You can get damage.
Big moves back to the back. Looks like Byron. Get a check.
Hamlin pull out a line, trying to get back in the top 10.
There's a bunch of different groups on fuel loads. It's a little complicated. It's all going to figure itself out as the race goes on. But you want to be the front of your group, right? So when you look at guys, Kosovar is the first of that lap 58 group. He's kind of running his own race up there in pit. Hamlin next here. You see the last lap you pitted. Just put them in categories. If the number's the same, you want to be leading that group. Round no more with Byron here down into turn 3. You can hear the hesitation on the throttle. Be able to get off this corner and make a good run down the straightaway. Hamlin with a move down here. The second half of the front straightaway. Going around Briscoe to the 19. His teammate in the 7.
Drives the inside of Winston Haley. Here's the back off to
continue to impress. Hocevar 5th. Haley right here at 10. The top 10.
And Lee Alex line to the tunnel turn. And he will take over the top spot, driving by Joey Logano.
That's a power move. Big driving away. Man. Driving away.
Hey, with him leading, I mean, it makes me think about last week and that gutty performance he had with an outstanding run in Mexico City. Looking good again today. Let's get an update from Marty.
Adam Joey Logano sitting in second. So Steve counted 2 strategies. Let's add a third. These last pitted on lap 32. Checked in with Paul Wolfe. He said cannot even come close to making it to the end of the stage. But Steve, Paul told me, he said, I was shocked. 4 teams did not stay away back, just a handful did.
I think a lot of teams are committed to these stops. Certain windows of the race, and that lap 50 yellow was one of those windows. And I think these teams have just decided, when you look at history, 4 very, very consistently. So until somebody proves it wrong, they're just going to do what they did last time.
You get the rhythm in this race, and you think you kind of figure it out, and you can see the future. And then, boom, a caution here, a caution there. Some drivers come, some stay out. And all of a sudden, it's a big mess that just grows and grows from there because everyone's playing off of their last move.
You just starts to cheap. It all thought it was going to be 6 and turn into a big mess because you really don't know. It is so complicated. And what these drivers are asked to do is more than just race. They're doing all these other things about managing brakes, like Reddick or fuel.
Battle for third, host of our 77 behind Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 47. It always works out this way, doesn't it?
I don't think I can watch it. Got out of blocks a little bit. 47 had a huge run down that straightaway. Now he's in dirty air. The 77 with the momentum here. He's going to continue to push Stenhouse. I think this is Hosamar. I want to believe this is Hosamar being patient, saying, you know what? He used up any goodwill last week. Might not be in a real hurry to get around 47 and have him on his back bumper.
77's been great today on speed, good on tires when you compare him to the guy in front of him. But as we've talked about, recent history would suggest patience is the way to play here, Trevor.
Yeah, the key word on his radio, guys, is low risk. They keep reminding him not to take too many chances. But on that last restart, he was 19th picking the green, was able to get the 5th by the exit of turn 1. Guys, that seems a little risky to me. Well, I agree. That is risky, and I think there's 2 levels of risk for the 77. There's 77 versus most of the field, and then 77 around the 47. And I think he can take a little bit more risk around others, but around that 47, I think he's used 2 mulligans. I just don't think he can afford a third. Look at the speed that 77 has through the middle of the corner. He drives up on the back bumper of Stenhouse. But on the straightaway, you just lead car. Such a unique effect. Looking at the history between Carson Hosamar and Stenhouse, deal where at point of season, the 47. Carson misses the corner, runs over to 47. I think Ricky, to be honest, has every right to have those conversations with Carson. This isn't, pick on Carson like young drivers. This is not a new story. We've seen it for decades in the sport, and now Carson's kind of, I think paying a little bit of the penalty here. He's going to have to run really smart around the 47. Now, what I will say, though, is of the different groups I mentioned, Carson's currently leading his. So that's even more reason not to get in a tangle. Carson's so much quicker than the 47 of Stenhouse and the 22. Just trying to time the runs, trying to figure out a way to put himself in a position to get up alongside this 47 has been difficult. Right here's an opportunity. Stenhouse is tight behind the 22. Can the 77 get that run off of the bottom of turn 1 down this straightaway? Not going to happen.
All this happening just over a second behind race leader Alex Bowman. Pocono, the runner-up. Stenhouse third, then it's Hosamar. Steve said the best of those that came down pit road at lap 58.
Down Briscoe has moved around Josh Berry for 6th.
Berry's been good today. I mean, you've seen him a lot up there.
Gained a little track position, staying on the racetrack while a lot of cars have pitted. It's allowed him to get in the top 10. Then behind him, leading Hamlin. Slowly getting his way back through the field. Right on board with Greg Keselowski. See that biggest mover since restart. Trevor just gave us a great update about Hosamar's magical turn 1. But Keselowski and Blaney both had issues having to start here in the back for different reasons. One speeding, one pit road closed. And here's Kaz up 13 positions. Blaney up 12. They're running 21st on the racetrack.
I just go back to what Brad said on the radio. It's early.
Yeah.
The race come to us. That's exactly what everyone needs to hear.
That's a good statement right there.
He's an owner. He's the boss man. They respect his approach, his attitude. He's bringing in and helping everybody around him. Look at this. A couple of Hendrick Motorsports cars in traffic. Kyle Larson and William Byron.
Kyle Larson. A couple of Hendrick cars. Alex Bowman, Joey Logano, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Come in.
You want pizza instead? You don't want pizza? You want chicken salad sandwich and a soup? All right. I'm assuming chicken noodle.
He gets a little bit of a shove off the nose of that one car, carries that momentum down the straightaway.
And if you're Boston fans, Boston Red Sox won 5-4.
19th on board Blaney into the corner. Took advantage of Priest Little on exit 2. He just cast it up, kind of took the spot. Blaney buries it down into 3. He's got a clear Priest off the corner. Good turn in race car when you drop the corner that deep and still carry the bottom or wrap the bottom of the corner.
Junior, remember, this is part 2 of Ryan Blaney coming through the field. Started at the back of the field today because they had to change a starter before the race. Raced his way all the way up to the top 10, and then after that speeding penalty, he had to restart all the way back to the 35th position, now up to 20th. So, Junior, I'm curious, because Blaney has already done it today in these conditions, in this car, does that maybe help him a little bit on this run to have a little more knowledge of how to get through the field and make passes?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you find yourself in traffic and you find what makes your car work, where your car works really good, how to put runs together, what's the best place. You know, every car drives different, handles different at each end of the racetrack.
Yeah. If you're also watching on the go, Chilo, come on in. So far, 3 cautions. 4 lead changes.
Alex Bowman, the race leader, 24 to go, stage 2. Logano, Stenhouse, host of our secret, the top 5.
No. Yeah, 4 lead changes. 5 to 15 caution laps.
Lisa, how are you going that fast? You don't even have an actual driver's license. To show you something.
You know, guys, but this is better because now we're playing together. Super together. Nintendo Switch 2 all together, anytime, anywhere.
Jack Wins presents the greatest duo.
Okay, well, let's see. Cole Custer's in 30th. Noah Gregson is in 22nd. Ryan Priest is in
There's nothing like a great duo. 2 flavors, 1 bag.
21st. He's minus 3 positions since the restart. He started 13th. Noah Gregson started 17th. Okay. And what did Cole Custer do?
One more question. You had 2 bags of chicken.
Somebody today. Go get somebody.com. Don't miss your chance.
Puh.
The NASCAR Powerball Playoff is back. Enter now to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship race at the Phoenix Raceway, where you could take home $1 million.
They're going to be throwing this ad until
Powerball, the official lottery game of NASCAR.
the championship round.
Powerball Playoff.
Back at Pocono.
Continues to be the favorite, plus 230, a little under 2.5 times your money. If you thought he was the guy to bet right now, we see Briscoe on pit road. I think this 19 car thinks they're in a window, and we have the 71 limping around the racetrack. If that's going to bring out a yellow. 71's on pit road now, so this tire didn't come off the 71. I really think that was the call for the 19, which I love to gamble. Let's see what happens to the 71. Contact here, and then it just goes down. The right front explodes. You're wondering if another issue with the brakes. Trevor.
Yeah, Michael McDowell reported some brake shake for a couple laps there before it finally exploded. when the crew chief asked him what was it, he said the rotor just exploded there in the third one. We've seen that a lot, Steve, and you mentioned the faster speeds. That requires a little more brake on entry, right?
Exactly. So this Goodyear tire has a little bit more grip, a little bit more quarter speed. So I think the overall faster speed, you have to get on the brakes. And if we take a look at the wind, down the front stretch, it is a tailwind. So when you're first of all, you're hauling the man. I mean, faster than you ever would pushing into it, right? It's just easier with a tailwind. Everybody's
Yeah.
for a jog or bound on a bicycle. They get that concept. Well, also when you lift off the gas, that tailwind doesn't want it to slow down as much. So you're using more brake pressure at already one of the toughest corners there are. And these guys, it's a really awkward racetrack. We talked about it all weekend. Well, it's even awkward mechanically. Now we've seen multiple cars with brake issues, and we have yet to reach halfway.
19 laps to go, stage 2. Let's hear from Bubba Wallace. Kim caught up with him moments ago.
But then on closer inspection, maybe the root cause of brake failure. What kind of feedback are you getting from the car?
None. Was gonna battle 17 in the 2, and by the time I was ready to touch the pedal, it just went to the floor, so the brakes exploded. So I hated it. 2, 3 good races in a row, then here we go with the bad luck again. But and Jake told me there's no such thing as bad luck, so we create our own luck. Apologize to the racing guys. This weekend sucked, aside from practice, but that pays nothing. Hate it for my guys. Hate it for McDonald's. We knew it was going to be a great one. And as frustrating as it gets here to not be able to pass here at Pocono, we were just going to take our lumps.
Caution. So.
We still want to hang around.
Do you think your teammate?
Richmond.
Fourth time today, debris on the front straightaway.
Yeah, the 71 had the brake failure on the right front down the front straightaway. Eventually, yeah, we thought about that. Of course, yeah. You know, obviously that's what happened. It was pretty clear, but he's lucky. One of the lucky ones to have it fail in a situation where you can avoid any contact with the outside retaining wall. Apparently, Nascar has found some of that debris, and concerning because this front straightaway, these drivers use all of it, right? Breaking the draft, going 3, 4 wide, way down the racetrack. So probably in a situation where there's not much choice but to err on the side of safety. And you saw the 21 and the 19 both hit pit road under green. And just bring that. We continue to talk about you got to keep coaching, right? All the way through, you got to keep crew chiefing. Well, you know, there's a lot going on out there. Nearly impossible to follow everyone's strategy and everyone's story. But the 19 and the 21 said, hey, we might be able to just buy a free pit stop here. We can pit. The caution comes out. We can pull back up to the field. Exactly what happens. So just, you know, great calls on top of the pit box. We'll see if it pays off. Just always try to take advantage everywhere you can.
You always want to have options, and options create opportunities in a race like this. Bowman's led 15 laps. Hamlin's led the most laps today, 32 up front, won the opening stage.
Yeah.
17 to go stage 2 as they
17 to go stage 2.
this time.
We'll be busy once again.
Well, guys staying out, several coming down the pit lane. Here's Kim.
Using shear in the right rear, needed a little bit more lateral stability. They will make a adjustment and bring the right side rear tires, smell no fuel for Alex Bowman.
Chris Buescher, Joey Logano coming down pit road here. 17 to go in the stage. So obviously this will get everyone to the end of the stage here and also gets them in the rest of the 82 laps. Really good and much more manageable in traffic. And also, Joey Logano said his car just got better the longer they had. Hamlin on pit road as well. Said his car just a little bit 2-3. And look at that drag race. 3 wide in pit road.
3 wide off of pit road.
It's fun to watch him run off. We'll reset the running order when we return to Pocono.
You can run the perfect race.
Denny Hamlin leading the pack on the final lap.
And then, boom.
Oh, Hamlin's hit. Hamlin is out of it.
I know.
That's true in racing and life. When death hits hard, national
Hey, come on in. Also, if you're watching on the Gold Seal. No, the TV.
OSA is a chronic condition tied to oxygen deprivation.
Yeah, well.
You're undiagnosed? That was us. Talk to your doctor about it. Let's keep eating human.
Oh shit, it's what, 5:05? I've only been on there for an hour. Yeah. See what happens when the race goes. Connect shit on you.
All their devices connected to this guy.
We're going to race a Nascar at Le Mans. We're going to do what? It's a 24-hour race. It's about survival. We have one shot and one opportunity to make this successful.
Ready for the restart?
Yeah, and a surprise, unfortunately, unfortunately, pit road is closed. Red light on pit road comes down by itself. Positive on the radio after those said, hey, there's a lot of races to go. Is closed. Red light on pit road comes down by itself. Restart to 147 to Denny. It's not a very quick race car, but he's able to get this track position. Hostbar knows 47 pretty good. To be able to get this track position, be able to get clean air. Restart.
Stenhouse lead for the first time this season.
Yeah.
15 to go.
15 to go. Buddy. Back on the game.
The push coming from Briscoe. They're going to clear pretty easily down into turn one. At least the 77 is clear. Stenhouse going to try to spin that 40 bumper. He can't do it.
Look at Briscoe. He pushed 77 out there. 19 coming through, trying to take the top spot. Racing for the lead down the long straightaway. Cuts up in front of him. Briscoe in charge of the field.
Hostbar could have sent to the outside, decided not to. That allowed the 47 to jump to his outside. Kind of surprised by that now. Hostbar ducks into third.
Yeah, well.
Back there around Getaway. I would say the trick is getting to the 77.
Yeah.
It's so bad he tried to be clear away, and now he's trapped behind him again.
Before the debris, and he's leading the ring. Fired up to around Barry right there. Keselowski to the inside.
Keselowski.
Chase Elliott at 17. Trying to find,
in the top 10. Bristol leading it.
I will say Byron and Elliott have worked their way to the front of their groups. While the 17 and the 11 day, we talked about it, they keep migrating back just a couple of positions.
So far, 4 cautions, 7 lead changes, 18 cautions. Yeah.
Contact with the wall off of turn 3, but Denny probably not very happy. So Denny's out here. Like Larson knows it. Larson's going to come across the track, clear to 3. Here's Denny Hamlin. Denny just gets out of the gas, maybe a little contact. Yep, you see the right front fender.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm there. Not the first time those two have danced together.
No.
Issues with the one car. Crash.
Oh. Rowdy's involved. Caution number 5. How many damn cautions is going to be?
of the gate, starting the season off, looking like championship favorites. They've lost a little bit of that mojo.
Mojo.
Continues. And Ty Dillon, who's had a great run at the road course at Mexico City last year.
Yeah, Ty Dillon.
Sure did. And, you know, he's actually really been able to improve with this college team this year. Kind of gutted it out to try to get these opportunities and making the most of it this year. And ADA able to get around the racetrack on the pit road. Let's take a look at how this happened. Kyle Busch in the door of the 38 just gets loose right there. And everybody trying to avoid a little contact with the right rear on the number 8. Trying to avoid with Christopher Bell through this corner. Kyle's going to be right in front of this. Car come around. Christopher Bell locks it down, trying not to hit the inside wall.
All right back there.
You do a good job there.
Huh.
What happens is this race gets closer to the finish line. Everybody stops giving as much. They start taking more. Kyle Busch knows he wants to take. He probably doesn't do that early.
Come in.
Race. Last week and today.
Coming.
Ray for Dash, who was just rescued yesterday by Dave. He was realizing in real time his new dog has a name for squirrels. And there's Chewy, where Dave will order a harness and everything else Dash needs in life. Like delicious food, because squirreling can work up quite an appetite. For low prices and fast shipping, for life with pets, there's Chewy.
There's a place no map will show you. A secret spot. A high-performance hideout for cars that crave chaos. New brakes? Check. Roll cage? Check. A spoiler so big it doubles as a picnic table? Oh, you bet. Every apex we nail, every second we shave, it's all knowledge that goes right back into your ride. Look like fun? It is. Win?
Looking for a weight loss treatment that works for you? Through HIMS, you can access personalized weight loss plans that lose up to 20% of your body weight or more with FDA-approved Wegovy at half the price. HIMS offers access to a range of trusted weight loss treatments, like other injectables and oral medication kits, with a holistic approach for long-term success. Options start at $69 a month, so you can find a treatment that works for your goals and your budget. Find the right weight loss treatment for you. Start today at HIMS.com.
At Napa, we're the pros that know how to make your business our business. Pros everywhere you need us, with every part you need, from brake pads to stock your Orange County, California, to oil filters for your fleet in Orange County, Florida. It's why we built a nationwide network of parts and exceptional service, all driven by one mission: to keep businesses big, small, and everything in between moving full speed ahead.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series lights up Atlanta with a Friday night primetime showdown.
All right, here we go to Atlanta. I think we can win this race.
Where Austin Hill looks to defend his home track. From Sam Mayer, Jesse Love, Connor Zillich, and the rest of a hungry young field.
It's go time in the ATL.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series. Primetime. Eastern on the CW.
Need 11 laps to go, stage 2. You're watching Cup Series racing on Prime, presented by Dish. Here's Trevor Bay.
Arson Hocevar coming down after a big debate with his team on whether or not to stay out and try to wait on getting this fuel in. They know it won't take too much fuel this time, so they are not going to wait on that. Once they get 4 tires on, they'll take off, Marty.
Austin Dillon gives up 14th, Trevor, and Richard Boswell's crew chief told him, hey, this strategy is worth a gamble at least. And splitting this in half, 75 to go, they can make it to the end, but there's a whole other team that stayed out at them, so they'll be behind all those cars when they restart. The give and take of having some fuel and some track position. We'll follow up on Tyler Reddick when we return to the Pocono.
A diagnosis doesn't define you. Even ATTR cardiac amyloidosis. You've come a long way. Your path was never set in stone. You charged ahead. So why would life with ATTRCM define you? You have the power of choice. Attruby is an oral medicine used to treat adults with ATTRCM to reduce death and hospitalization related to heart problems. People taking Attruby saw an impact on health-related quality of life and were 50% less likely to be hospitalized for heart issues, giving you more chances to do what you love with who you love. Tell your doctor if you're pregnant, planning to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding, and about the medication you take. The most common side effects were mild and included diarrhea and abdominal pain. If you have ATTR cardiac amyloidosis, ask your cardiologist if Attruby is right for you. It's time to get busy living.
From racetrack to road, Mobile One Motor Oil to make whatever you drive more beautifully.
Ever since we hired Dale Jr. at IHOP, records have been moving fast. Look, it's pancake! Dine-in delivery cake.
Don't wish. Don't hope. Don't dream. No. See the steps it takes to get it done right, then follow them. At Avis, we rent cars, unlike anyone else rents cars. Because for 75 years, we've only had people there to make sure you keep yours.
This Xfinity Wi-Fi is
Next up, boom time. The Wi-Fi is booming like a
XW with IPO.
green meat sideways. It's bursting with Wi-Fi.
Well, everyone who knows a boom when they see it is going to understand it.
The Wi-Fi booming.
Make sure you check out Prime's exclusive in-race feature, Key Moments, during today's broadcast by clicking down on your remote. It's the easiest way to catch up on race highlights and flag changes as they happen.
Brad doing a nice job of cooling this race car. You see 107 degrees right here. That's actually, we've seen 131.
The average is around 120.
I've never rode in one of the 107, so I'm not going to say it, but
Yeah.
I got in my left hand.
I'm going to offer no analysis here.
I can say it, but I can't. I won't be able to walk in the garage if I tell them that.
Brad's been in tougher situations many times. Interesting lineup here. Front row, Briscoe Stenhouse. Lineup right behind 19 in row 2. 8 to go, second stage, and we return to the green flag at Pocono. Bubba ducking out 3 points there. Several points back. Stenhouse possibly clearing. Briscoe on the throttle. Good momentum, they're side by side. It's a drag race. On the turn one down the straightaway. Stenhouse, great shove, and then outside lane, Josh Berry. Can he make it pay off? Side by side for the lead as they get to the tunnel. 19 inside is Briscoe, outside is Stenhouse. And you're side by side behind him. Josh Berry getting a chance. Right back there. Eric Johnson, part of that group. Keeps Elliott back there. And Brad Keselowski is into. Got a real good shot. Oh, the car into the wall. Look at it. Pushing so hard. And that dirty air. I thought Barry and Stenhouse were going to get together turn 1. Stenhouse going to drive one. Inside, we're Byron on the inside. He's going with the forward. It's not going to be. He can't get in there, right? He can't go 3 wide into the tunnel, but he's going to do 21. On that's going to cost him. You look back at this and that now I'm losing spots. Also, a lot of spots right there, about 5 or 6 spots to that 3 wide. Driver taking advantage. The 11 in the running order. And Stenhouse, he's just.
We know Brad's going here. All the way to the top. Look at that 17. Chris Buescher, his teammate, the car he owns.
It's just not a good deal because look at the ground he loses. What he loses. He does clear the 17. It's really clear of Stenhouse as well as Chase Elliott. Now the 17 of Buescher trying to go take that spot away from 47. He's got a little bit of a run here now.
Car just popped out of line. That's the 77 of Post car off from pit road. Restart. So just once again, great speed in that 77. This was shocking.
Everybody pushed. On fun a little. 22 coming back. 16. See Hocevar? I mean, he's the one that always lets it hang out, and he's just off the wall as he squeezed it up on the turn 3.
Yeah, he said, I hit
the ball right there now.
Yeah.
Barry, give him some track position, making it work. Second behind Briscoe, and the 19 not driving away. Josh Ford Hamlin.
Josh ran the fastest lap of the race right there. We get later in the afternoon. Well, why do we talk so much about fuel? That for Josh Barry was laps on his tires. So the tires just hold on for grip.
4 to go on the stage. Here's Hocevar looking outside of Logano. What's up, Drew?
Yeah, guys, we saw the follow the leader on the 20. It's really flat. You lose all visibility if you can't see around the car in front of you. That's why Briscoe chose the bottom on that last restart. They worked together with Byron and said, I'm just going to go on him. When he gets to me and pushes me, I'm going to take off. Knowing that Byron really couldn't see the restart zone that well. You know, you talked about that. We were out there in the pace car about how the restart zone, there are a couple marks in the fence, but it's really hard to see on the ground or on the wall. You know, when you're behind all, you're in the, the 4th, 5th, 6th row or all back. Those cones on the heads. You kind of just look at you a couple rows before you see those for the reason why you move. When they move, you get ready. Here comes the 6th to pit road, going to flip the stage. For these guys, we're going to put 4 tires on a fuel here, flipping the stage, as you mentioned. Also, Eric Jones hitting pit road. He another good run for this Legacy Motor Club Toyota.
Legacy's been great this weekend. We talked about John Hunter Nemechek early in their performance in qualifying. Eric Jones spent a lot of time up in the top 10 or 12, 42 in, making a stop.
Yeah, you know, Brad's been very good where they're at the points, way back in the 30s, and it's a must-win. That's the path to the playoffs. So no surprise he wasn't concerned about points. Wow, big closing speed for that 21 rank.
2 to go on the stage this time around. We'll close pit road. Briscoe leading. And in line to have a really good points day. Down to nearly 40 points above the cut line. 4th in that opening stage. Got him 7 stages. Right now as the race leader, but across the board, regardless of how it plays out, you want to take advantage when you have that opportunity. 19 getting it done this afternoon. And here's Blaney, a penalty car earlier, going for 8th, racing Stenhouse for the position.
Blaney, then we have Hocevar. What a drive by this young man, 22-year-old from the back, up inside the top 15. You know, I just talked about how the tires held on for overall pace. I wonder if the new tires do help you pass, though. Even though they don't go maybe way faster, maybe you can just run lower in the corner, Dale, or give the driver more options. That or this 77 is just a standout race car combination of both, maybe, but he's up 12 already.
I think it absolutely gives you an advantage in dirty air. Oh, look at that 5 car. Larson, I think the 47 might have gotten into the fence off the wall. Or off the sorry. I think in traffic, back to the back, you could be more aggressive, right? And you can take advantage of people who are on older tires, and that's how he's able to gobble up spots early on restarts. Pagano to the inside of 47 now. Stenhouse getting further and further back in traffic. Now we're 3 wide. The 47 car gets harder and harder to drive as you lose more and more track position. Everybody take a deep breath. Hocevar just drove around Stenhouse. No harm, no foul, and I'm sure he's taking a deep breath as well. Talk about Logano coming by, the same for the 48 of Bowman. Final lap, stage 2. Henry Chase Briscoe having a good day. Qualified good yesterday and paying it off with the race. He's the winner in our second stage. Barry is second. Elliott and Bishop complete the top 5. For Briscoe, his first stage victory since 2022. He talks so much about the importance of finishing races. They've been qualifying well, maybe not getting the payoff. Could this afternoon be the day? Tuesday down at Pocono, and pit road will be busy when we come back.
Join the more than 7 million adults, like Michael, who've taken Ozempic.
As touring musicians, my type 2 diabetes could have slowed us down, but I didn't let it. I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty, and this is what my Ozempic era looks like. I'm lowering my A1C and lost some weight too. I also learned some people take Ozempic to lower the risk of major cardiovascular events like stroke, heart attack, or death, and others take it to lower the risk of worsening chronic kidney disease.
Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take if you or your family had MTC, MEN2, or if allergic to it. Stop taking and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck or any of these allergic reactions. Tell your provider if you plan to have surgery or a procedure, are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be. Serious side effects may include inflamed pancreas, gallbladder or severe stomach problems, or changes in vision. Call your prescriber if you have any of these symptoms. Taking with a sulfonylurea or insulin may raise low blood sugar risk. Common side effects include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, constipation. Some side effects lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Discover the GLP-1 with the most FDA-approved uses. Ozempic.
Whoa, who are you guys? I'm you from the past.
And I'm you from the future.
Look, outfit for a party.
And I'm looking for a suit for my daughter's wedding.
I might be able to help you fellas out. Life is a journey. Handy is the wardrobe that grows with you. Tailored for every milestone. Look your best, dress to win. Handy.
Racing isn't just a game. It's a way of life. Every lap, every moment. Practice is about consistency. Winning doesn't come easy. Yo! My turn, Bubba. Fuel Road. Own the race. Logitech G wheels and pedals available now on Amazon.
Meet the IHOP House Faves value menu. Everything's just $6. Like the breakfast faves combo, $6. French toast breakfast, $6. $6 for all this and all that. That's a lot of breakfast for $6. Weekdays at IHOP.
NASCAR on Prime Video is brought to you by AMR. 2 stages down in the Poconos. And going to break, I said when we return, pit road could be a busy place. Maybe not the case here. How do you see this playing out, Steve? And we got a handful of them coming down for sure.
Yeah, all the leaders can make it to their final pit window from here. The question is, do you want more fuel on board that could shorten that final pit stop, Trevor? Yeah, Steve, that's exactly the reason the 24 is hitting pit road now. They feel like this might put them in the window to be able to take 2 tires and gas later on. The only issue on that 24 is the steering rack right now. They feel some issues, Kim.
As you see the 47 on the bottom of your screen, that's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Last stop on lap 47. They strung it together to get to the end of the stage, hoping for stage points. Did not net out. They finished that stage in 13th. Ricky said it just was not turning, Marty.
Ken Daniel Suarez has been hanging in the top 15 today. Been struggling with the vibration, especially when he has to turn the car to the right. But Steve, to your point, Matt Swiderski told Suarez this will make our next stop shorter. That's why we're pitting now.
So shorter, but the question is, it's going to be 2-3-ish seconds shorter. If that's under yellow, it could be a lot. If it's under green, do these guys get close enough to the front to take advantage of those 3 seconds?
63 to go. We'll just have to see where the cautions fall.
The games are being played as we get ready for the final stage. Here's Danielle, Carl, and Cole.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe's first stage win with Joe Gibbs Racing. Interesting to see, guys. He only came in 39 points above the cut. He was one of those on the bubble who has yet to win this season, already scored 17 stage points. So a great day so far for Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, a great day for Chase Briscoe, but Latart just described, really what's happening here is they're setting up for that last pit stop. So the guys that have to spend more time putting fuel in, man, they just got to hope for things to fall their way. It's a strategy game right now. Fortunately, we've got two great crew chiefs up there in the booth to describe it to us.
Absolutely. Liddell Jr. and Steve Latart laying it out for all of us. It's been hard for me to follow as well because you don't really know who is set up the best for that least amount of time on pit road for the last stop. What's impressive to me, though, is Hocevar's ability to drive back through the field. I think they're in a pretty good fuel spot. The 77 man is strong today, but I would love to see Chase Briscoe try to figure out again.
Yeah, you read my mind about that restart. Hocevar passed something like 13 or 14 cars in a lap. So restart takes care of strategy in a number of ways.
We had 4 cautions at stage 2 here at Pocono. That's the most ever in the next gen era, or ties the record, Adam. So we'll see what the final stage brings us. No shortage of action happening this afternoon.
No question, a lot still to come here. Thank you, Danielle. And now time for our Napa know-how moment.
Well, I keep talking about fuel load, right? And I call it the fuel tax because you can kick it down the road just like taxes keep deferred. But at some point, you got to pay Uncle Sam. Well, at some point, you got to pay the fuel tax, which means you have to get fuel in the car. Did you do it now, or will you have to have a longer final stop and do it then?
And if the restarts get more and more crazier toward the end of the race, the best opportunity to get that track position that you need as a driver is to be aggressive when they happen. So, make as much hay as you can when the restarts happen down into turn 1. And then also, we've seen a lot of brake issues. Who's managing those temperatures, who's keeping those issues from being a problem for them today. That a lot of the drivers are definitely aware of some of the brake issues some of these teams are having.
Well, update on this 45 and 23.11 really quick. 35.23, rotors brake, flat tires out of the race. The 45 inspects theirs. They go to the garage. They make repairs, make some brake changes. They must have felt that they were having the same sort of situation. They lose 2 laps. I only say that because they're the only car laps down. A quick yellow, get a free pass. Another quick yellow, go back in the lead lap. Dale, you and I talked about this. Is fairly Formula One asks. We don't see a lot of, I don't always use the word perfect, but running race cars get pulled off the racetrack to make a mechanical repair. The long yellows, really a great plan. If this 45 finishes and gets back in the lead lap, heads up for this 45 team. Kim?
Yeah, and you mentioned they saw something they didn't like about the brakes. That came at that caution under lap 78. They looked at it, didn't like what they saw, but I did confirm for the team the rotors were not cracked, the ones that they took off. So they just saw something that indicated it was going the direction that his teammate Bubba Wallace had, but confirmation of no cracks on the rotors.
This guy's with great moving and all they do is stuff internally to the rotor by depending how much air goes through the reins. No telling what the 2311 had, but they obviously know what the other 2 cars had and decided to make this change.
Not racing to become pit road or to the garage actually make some adjustments to that car. But we watch the choose here. Briscoe taking the top of the racetrack, it appears, with the 21 up very to the inside. The second row, Busher, Chase Elliott will be key figures on this restart. Busher in the outside line is sort of forced to follow this 19, push the 19. He cannot move left or right. But the 9 car, Chase Elliott, can decide if he wants to go 3 wide or stay committed to that 21 of very. Trevor.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe last time, guys, took the inside road thinking he could get a good push from the 24, but he almost gave the lead up to the 47, who had 25 more laps on his tires. This time, with Barry being on similar laps, he felt like the outside was his best chance to defend. He's hoping for a good push from that second row, like you guys mentioned.
Yeah, when you pick that outside line, you kind of box in the car behind you. He has no choice. If he can get connected to that rear bumper, you're going to be in good shape heading off down into turn 1. It's much more difficult, I think, for the inside line to get organized, get connected, stay together, and stay committed. It's so tempting for the following car to pull out and go around the lead car and take everybody 3 wide.
I think that's fascinating on what we're going to see at the front of the field, or further back in the field. What do these cars need? Well, right here in this row, Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, they stopped right before the stage. They have about 15 laps more fuel on board. Why that matters is the final pit stop will be shorter, and further back on board with William Byron, hit it. They supposed to
He's all the way back in 23rd. For this strategy to pay off for any of those cars, this restart has to work. They have to go forward. It's enough to have that dividends.
Want to pay off Chris? It's the free pass. This is caution in the afternoon.
He's got a little damage to the splitter on this 20 car, so it'll be tough for him to make a lot of spots for the rest of the day. But here we go.
Pocono, 60 to go. Outside line, Briscoe, very to his left.
Organization and connection on both lines. That outside line is doing a little bit better. You see they got 3 cars together. The third car makes the difference.
Briscoe dives in front. Busher coming to the outside lane, trying to get to Barry. Chase out is there. So is Denny. Hamlin in the 11. Hamlin and Busher reestablish that track position. Started on the front row today. So good early.
When we would see them back to the front of the field, they were traced from the very start. Make that strategy work. Now back at 3.
Elliott trying to get fourth, and he does. Look at Hocevar outside of Logano. Aggression, not a problem here.
.477 driver is done for mistakes, but what can tell you is raw talent to find speed and speed in traffic. Very impressive out of that 77.
He'll go lead.
It's an opportunity to up there in that second, third groove down the back street here. Bowman trying to find a way around 22. Forced to push him as the guy throws the wall.
Want to give a take for both.
Hocevar still on the outside of this 22 about the tunnel.
Just in front of them, Ryan Priest having a good day. Won a stage last week in Mexico City, did driver 60.
Briscoe up front, being chased down. Busher would love to get this pass made. He doesn't want to get caught up in the dirty area behind the 19 and allow Denny Hamlin to be able to get up there and get up for position. You're sitting there thinking, this race is between me and the 11. Keep that 11 behind you. Take this spot from the 19 as soon as you can.
Another spot. Recovering from a speeding penalty. 12 car back in the top 5. Won this race last year. And here comes Larson in the 5.
No speed off the corner. He's going to try to stay out here around this 5. Off the racetrack, you're to the inside.
Hendrick said, thank you very much. 2 for 1. Comes through and gets it.
Larson trying to slide job right there. Barry was going to stay on his outside. Marty.
Junior, just to remind everyone at home, this is twice now for Ryan through people in the 30s, into the top 5. And I think teams are going to think about maybe hitting as soon as the window to make it to the end of the race. Remember last year, Jonathan Hassler was willing to gamble on that last caution of the race. Hassler left pit road 4 laps short of fuel. On caution, he got those. Blaney won here at Pocono last year.
Rarely can you have track position and be comfortable about your situation. The entire pit road is just so aggressive with the football, which practices the aggressive on the racetrack. I mean, it's just take. Pit road, restart. Oh, freeze right there. We're on the Barry's lost a ton of spots here in the last lap and a half. Make that come to an end. Make it work. And still side by side, the 77-0. 3 wide.
And the Keselowski had been on the other side of the momentum. Now he takes advantage, goes around Logano and Hocevar. Another Ford that's marking and passing a lot today. Driver 6, Brad Keselowski.
Leading the way for those two. When they made that mishap, they came down race comes to us, it is slowly coming there to reach him. Can he stay in touch with the leaders?
You know, when Brad won here in 2011, really bad practice crash. It's all about dealing with adversity and having success here in Pocono. And coming back today after that miscue when they came down pit road and it was closed. Train battle for the lead. Briscoe is got it, but Busher is right in his hip pocket.
Every year, Chris Busher just shows up in the summer stretch, I want to say. And it's not even the same style of racetrack. I remember with Michigan, just look at the 17 car, continue to impress the variety of speed. You know, you see it in tracks, big tracks, road.
First for Linear at 16, it was the fog out phase. They played strategy, and it all worked out for him. He wins it today. It's just going to be qualified on the front row. They've lost track position because of the various strategies, but there is no doubt about it. One of the best cars here today is the 17. I have to check out this.
Yeah, the 54 almost wrecks off the nose of the 38. And then that cost the 24 Byron a lot of positions right there to the top. It's what people was trying to do.
Check. Top of 3.
It's happening outside the top 25. High level of frustration. Can't get where you need to go, and you reach just over 50 to go, Trevor.
Yeah, guys, to start this race, the radio conversations were quite different than we normally hear. As soon as the caution would come out, you'd hear drivers just asking their crew chief, what are we going to do here? And not getting many balance updates. Now, with about 10 laps to go, you're starting to hear a lot of feedback. The picture's getting much more clear as to what the strategy is going to be, Steve, since that tunnel vision starts to fade off and you start worrying about the speed of your race car now.
Absolutely, and I would have encouraged my driver. I know they're curious about the strategy, but that's part of your job as a crew chief, to ask the right questions. Hey, this is what we're doing, but what does our car do? Because I'm not sure we're going to get all the right calls, but if we do, let's at least have it drive the best possible when we're out front. These battles up front are just fascinating to me. This 17 now, a lane lower in turn 3 is going to have a little bit of momentum, but can you get the power down? Now here comes the draft. That 17 is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger off this rear bumper. Here he comes right at the end of the straightaway. It really starts to take hold. Running the middle of the racetrack. Taking away probably the optimum line for the 17. We've talked a lot about fuel usage. You know, we have the burn bar, we show miles per gallon. The reason I'm not really pointing that out is because this is not as much how much they're using, is how much they have on board. I think these guys right here, they're not as concerned about saving gas as they are trying to control this race and try to take the lead if you're pushing.
Briscoe in charge in Pocono.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? There's an O'Reilly Auto Parts. Turn left, Tyler.
Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with
51 laps to go.
It's free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you don't want to do the repair yourself, we can recommend a shop for you. Okay, Tyler, let's go fix your car.
Auto Parts.
Did they just hop from a baseball game to a show on Max without leaving DirecTV?
It's like all their apps and channels are connected.
Oh, it's all connected. Shows, movies, sports, computer shows.
Is she talking to us?
No, DirecTV, put all your favorite stuff on one home screen. Uncanny content protection. Mind control.
Were you recently electrocuted?
Same.
If they were like us, we'd have up to 15 new plants.
That's something we can do for a year.
If they were like us,
They would have said no to the taxpayer bailout and added thousands of American jobs. Nobody's committed to America like Ford is.
And who benefits from that? You do.
You can run the perfect race.
Denny Hamlin leading the pack on the final lap.
And then, boom.
Oh, Hamlin's hit. Hamlin is out of it.
That's true in racing and life. When debt hits hard, National Debt Relief helps you take control, so you can pay less than you owe in less time than you think. When life wrecks your finances, National Debt Relief helps you get back on track. Visit nationaldebtrelief.com to get started today.
You love our legendary subs, so you'll love our legendary new Doritos foot-long nachos. Doritos and Subway, two legends come together to...
Legends eating legends. Am I right?
Yes, thank you, Marshawn. Doritos foot-long nachos. Just $5, only at Subway.
Back at Pocono, now we get today's Credit One Bank ones to watch. Dale, who you got?
I'm going to pick Ryan Blaney. Last several laps on the racetrack, one of the top two cars. Came from a speeding penalty that happened earlier in the race, able to drive himself into the top 5. That driver we see right up the hood of Ryan Blaney, that's the 9 of Chase Elliott. I think what was lost with SVG's dominating performance last week was Chase Elliott driving into the podium from outside the top 10 of that final run. This 9 has speed again. He has pulled it off here at Pocono. Maybe today's the day, hanging around in the 4th spot.
Brad Keselowski trying to end a winless streak of 39 races, put himself in the playoffs. He had that miscue, lap 58, coming out pit road when it was closed. He stayed positive on the radio, coached up his group. He said it will come to us, and it has. They're on the plus side of it. When you look at fuel mileage, he's running ninth right now, thinking about career win number 2 here in the Poconos.
47 to go. We expect the fuel window to be around 40, maybe 41, depending on pace. We've heard Marty mention a few times the gamble last year. People pitted before they could make it. Why would you do that? Because if the caution comes out, anybody who still has to pit, you would cycle in front of. I think we're still outside the window at 47 to go, but I don't know, 43, 44, somebody may gamble.
We talked about this 70 car being faster than a 19 and him being stuck behind the 19 in dirty air. That doesn't mean that Briscoe is really slow. He ran the second fastest lap the last time by. So the 19 is a good race car. I think the 17 may be the best car in the field. Just really struggling to be able to put the runs together.
So this is going to sound crazy, but there is a little bit of the crew chief in me that says, hey, Busher, if you push him down the straightaway and you can offset the corner, push him down the straightaway, we'll run faster together and just try to gap the cars behind us because they know that Brad and a couple guys back here are going to have shorter pit stops. I'm sure he would take the lead if he could, but it's not too painful if you guys are trying to get that gap back to Hamlin. So here's your one.
Yeah, what do you know?
Wait to race on top of the pit box. Nostradamus now. He's got it, man. I love it. I love it.
Dale was first in the draft, right?
Oh,
so when you get to go first,
none of y'all were going to take the lead. I would have to defend him. I wasn't. I didn't have him on my list.
I look at Briscoe up there. He changes organizations. This has not been a good track for him. You look at recent years, last 5 starts here. He had exactly 1 lap turn inside the top 5. Today, he's led the most laps, 35 out front for driver 19, trying to control this thing and win a race, put himself in the playoffs. And if he delivered today, he would join a long line of success for Joe Gibbs Racing at this place. I mean, just look at the last 13 races. Going back to, I think it's 2017, the pole positions, all the top 5 laps led, and how good they've been here today. Very impressive, Marty.
And we know these final stops of the day, very critical final stops of the day, are coming up here at Pocono. 45 to go. The drivers know that as well. Just a moment ago, Junior, Denny Hamlin radioed to Chris Gale, and he said, hey, give me a 5-lap heads up when we're coming to pit road. So to that point, how difficult is the pit road entry under green here at Pocono?
Well, it's inviting. It's not that it's difficult. It's actually easy because you can get turned and you have a very long braking zone, straight braking. You can get aggressive. That's the problem with the entry to pit road at Pocono is drivers can really go after
some speed there, trying to challenge and close some gaps by driving deep into that braking zone and getting to the pit road. So you'll slide tires. You'll either speed in the first couple of segments because you actually went too fast, or we've actually seen people wreck coming on the pit road trying to get there too quickly.
You know, Junior, we're celebrating the success of Joe Gibbs Racing, and rightfully so. Been so good here today, leading laps, winning stages, got the pole and all of that. But let's go to RFK Racing. We've told the story of Brad Keselowski. We know how good Chris Buescher has been. Ryan Preece has now entered the top 10. So all three of their Fords in the top 10. I go back a couple of weeks at Michigan, they were all three in the top 10. First time they had done that since 2016. So they are starting to find to speed here as we head down the stretch of the regular season.
And it's time to recognize that for sure. They've struggled this year. Years ago. And I've been really impressed with this 60 car. You know, you bring in a new car, new team, new people. It's a third car. No other way to look at it. And they're going to be third best parts and pieces at times, if not all the time. And they have found a way to make that car competitive. Done a really, really good job with Ryan Preece this year.
Austin Dillon, Ross Chastain, exchanging positions here. They're inside the top 15. Nice effort there. Dillon up to 14th as he makes the pass.
He's one of those drivers that flipped stage 2 for some track position.
And I'm telling you guys, if you're one of these pit crew members, this is the moment you're living for, right? You know, you see a pit window is open. This is the leading edge of it. I don't know if this is a comfortable spot. Well, there you go. Pit window open. Cindric says, now's the time. Here I go. I'm going to get fresh tires right away. He's got to pit from the 7th position. Let's see how he does and how much fuel they take. That's what's important. They have to.
They talk about being last. That's what Brian Wilson. He can't go in the conference at least here, just a little on the free side. As long as possible there on the 2, Marty.
Josh Terry, who hit it a little bit earlier when there was a car. We knew they had to come before the other cars, but you got to wonder if this is going to bring a lot of other cars down pit road. 48 also on pit road. And Steve, does this open the window for everybody?
As soon as you think you can make it, you come. You cannot allow the guys to get new tires. There you go. Leader, Briscoe, hard left-hand turn on pit road. Buescher, Hamlin will have to counter next time by. Fresh tires are enough of an advantage. The field's so close, I don't think you can give them an advantage by running long, Trevor.
Yes, sir. This is the final stop for the 19, hitting pit road for that money stop. They wanted to be one of the first to get there. Going to see 4 tires and fuel go. Saving fuel during that run, just trying to manage how much he was burning to make this stop a little bit shorter. Another tool in the toolbox for these drivers to use.
Ryan Preece waiting on fuel. You see that long wait there? Get a little more center turn.
Scheduled green flag pit stops, final stage at Pocono.
I'm going to tell you, unbelievably fast stop. That 19 car. I'm going to say, I hope they have enough gas in it. I thought they would have to wait longer, only 11 seconds on pit road. Now here comes the 24, the 77, Trevor.
24 car just took 2 right sides right there. A short stop for him. Remember, he came down pit road in that last
Buescher now leads the race. Obviously, he's going to have to come down pit road. Denny his stop down. He comes with down pit road. He was really tight in 2-1 for Denny Hamlin. You're right on board. At the very end of the run for Chase Elliott, who's been very strong here at Pocono this afternoon. Question is, can they make up time that they were behind the other cars in front of them here on Kim?
And the one of Ross Chastain waiting on fuel. Tight middle in the 1 and 3 drive off needs a little bit. They're going to wait as long as possible, and they get all clear from his crew chief, Marty.
For a while, Joey Logano was in the top 10 today. Paul Wolf made a strategy play. Then they kind of struggled to 10 on this pass run for Logano. You see where this will come out. Chris Buescher coming down pit road. He said that last one was a bit frustrating because he could catch the 19 of Chase Briscoe. Pass in turn 2. He has had no play on Henry with the 17. And I want to see what's not great just here to make the call in terms of fuel. Chris Buescher, he's in that little bit of track position. He was behind the 19, 4 tires for the 17.
Bottom of the screen, on board with Briscoe. I showed you that great 11-second pit stop. Start finish.
19 will easily clear him on the racetrack and drive off. He will become the leader, but I will tell you, that pit stop for the 19 was shockingly fast at 11 seconds. Great job of the pit stop. If he didn't need the fuel, then great job by Briscoe, who maybe was saving fuel. This is going to play out in front of us, 38 to go. We still have a few to pit. But Buscher, we saw him wait on fuel, and look at who cycled in front of Buscher, the 11 of Hamlin. So these cars are all assuming they can make it to the finish on fuel. Long run here at Pocono. And that's the advantage for Denny Hamlin, who is suffering from a little bit of a push in that car before this cycle. He's now in front of the 17. If this comes down to a race between the two, Denny Hamlin's had the adjustment to fix the balance of the car and now has the track position to take this thing to the finish.
Top 12 yet to make a pit stop here in this final cycle.
So what I was talking about when we look at pit stop times, we're going to assume they needed the same amount of fuel, but just look at this. Briscoe 11.0, Buscher 14.4. Look, that's not a mistake for Buscher. That's not like slow tires. That's how much fuel they had to put on. I talk about the fuel tax. This started at lap 0. These guys started counting every quart, every ounce, every gallon all day long. Is this the day the 19 has out-executed everyone out? That 11 seconds shocked me. What an impressive job, Trevor.
Yeah, you talk about the fuel tax, Steve, but how about the tire tax? The 6-car Brad Keselowski talked with Jerry Mullins and said, I want the tire advantage. We have more fuel right now, but that time of a shorter pit stop isn't as much as I think we can get if we go long and have better tires for the rest of the run. What do you think, Steve?
I think that's their option, right? They made a mistake, Trevor. They came on pit road closed. They just can't race heads up. They have to do something. They worked on having more fuel on it, and he's out there running 53.6s. I mean, this 6 car has clear track in front. So when you have it, use it, right? Like this is go for the 6 because I think it's their only is the wrong word, but it's their best option to win. Remember, a win is the only chance, right? Because our makes it playoffs.
Last year at Pocono, Jonathan Hassler had the winning strategy for Ryan Blaney. He's pitting here with 36 to go. We'll see if this call to run long plays to their benefit as well. We mentioned Blaney coming through the field twice today. He has done it without the benefit of a closer Kim and having a run.
Right side up, make a caution now.
In the midst of these stops, we get a caution. 7th the day. Brad Keselowski scored as the race leader. They had not yet made their pit stop in the green flag cycle.
So now we're just going to have to see so many cars have pitted that we'll see when the 6 cycles back. I think what they would have rather done was pit under green, then the yellow come out, because then he could have kind of cycled out and had fresh tires. Unfortunately for the 6, this yellow, you see that first. Let's listen into the 6.
Every time, man. He's just getting clean air. Oh.
All right, so let's just review. What we need to do is 4 laps, run down pit road, then get a caution, then get brand new tires. I said you have to gamble mistake by coming down pit road close. You heard Brad knows behind the wheel. He knows exactly how this is going to work out.
What about those guys that were just on pit road? I mean, they're making their stops. Caution comes out.
Yeah, we're going to have to see where this all cycles, because you're absolutely right. With the guys on pit road, the blend might be very different. It gets loose right there out of turn 1, I believe.
Yep, Shane Van Gisbergen, last week's winner, locked into the playoffs, getting the victory at Mexico City, but it gets away from him here. Caution with 35 to go.
So I think, yeah, the question, I guess, is where does Blade cycle out in all of this? He was on pit road. Looks like he's going to end up coming across finish line in 4th place behind, well, once everybody else comes to pit road, he's behind Briscoe, Hamlin, and Buscher. So kind of a bit of an advantage for the 12, I suppose, to catch that caution when he did.
I mean, looking at our scoring monitor, there are 6 drivers that have not yet made a pit stop. And then 7th, Chase Briscoe, who was leading when the cycle began. He's maintained that position, or he will have done so once everything cycles through and these guys get their pit stop. Hamlin, we talked about jumping in front of Buscher, and then you mentioned Ryan Blaney, who came at lap 124 and was on pit road when the caution came out.
That's why it's important for these guys like
Briscoe and Busher and Hamlin and Briscoe for, when the caution comes out, stay in the gas, run hard, because that would have allowed Blaney, I think, to cycle in front of him if they'd have let off the gas and slowed down and allowed the pace car to kind of pick up the field.
Are you coming?
Yep.
You're coming. Let's go.